friends. So I don't want them to miss any aspect of this talk today. The topic is marriage and money, or marriage and finances, whichever one tickles your fancy, if I can say that. Maria, thanks for joining. I see you. Adama, thanks for joining. Corbin, I see you. You are welcome. And don't forget, guys, after my talk, I'm going to bring a puzzle, to kind of, relieve a bit of tension, because money matters. It brings a lot of heat, I presume, anyways. So I'm going to be bringing my puzzle after the talk at some point. And if you can get it, I think this is the third week running. So if nobody gets it today, I will tell us the answer and I'll keep my gifts. That's all it means. But please feel free to attempt or to try. If you get it right, I'll give you a big clap and you get the gift for today. Otherwise, I'll just laugh. Once I laugh, you haven't gotten the puzzle right. So I'm going to be going into the talk today. Marriage and money. Marriage and finances. Oh, Coach Tola, thanks for joining. I see you. I trust our day has been good. I don't even know where the week is gone, to be honest with you, but we thank God. And I can't believe October is really winding down as well. Oh, devil, I hope you're not, but you're welcome. I see you. Thank you so much, Kotola. I really appreciate the gift. Thank you so much. So, guys, I'm going to be going into the talk today. Good evening, ma'am. Please feel free to use the chat to, type in any ideas coming to mind. Maybe even if you don't agree with what I'm saying, honestly, I'm okay with it as well. If you have questions, and again, I want to say here on Inside, please feel free to follow one another. And it's a safe space to follow one another, as long as you're not going to unfollow, because I noticed quite a number of people follow. So I hit my 10,000 and I couldn't follow anybody anymore, and I just saw the list of people they've unfollowed me. I'm like, okay, I'll just take them off so that I can add new people that have delightfully added me to their list of friends. So thank you. If you follow me, well, I tell you, I won't promise immediately after I'm going to follow you back. I'll try, because I'm, like I said, a bit tired, but I might just knock off and then attend to that tomorrow. So be rest assured, if I see your name there, I will follow you back. So once again, welcome to Inside. We're talking today about marriage and money, marriage and finances. I'm going to go straight into the talk. It's a bit lengthy, should I say, or not, but I'll try to put everything together, and hopefully we'll hear from you as well when the time is right. I'm going to be opening the box for us to talk more about this topic, because only I cannot do justice to it. I want to hear from our wealth of experience. So if you have strategies we can cope when we talk about money or finance in marriage, because you and I know that in marriage is huge. Even in the world, money talk is huge. So let's dare to talk about it. Marriage and money, marriage and finances, because a lot is going on out there. But okay, let's put a bit of structure to it. So marriage is one of the most significant life decisions people make. And one of the foundational aspects of a successful marriage is the management of money and finances. I've heard of cases where husband and wife have gone their separate ways because of money problems. So it's a very crucial thing to talk about in this kind of space. Pause. I see you. Good evening, my brother. You're welcome. So I wish maybe accountants, will come in tonight to listen to us and give us tips on how we can manage money better in our marriages so that it doesn't break our homes up. That's my prayer. So financial stress can be one of the leading causes of conflict in marriage, and that's very true. Financial stress can be one of the leading causes of conflict in marriage. Conflict in marriage. Now imagine unresolved conflict in marriage because of money and then separation. Oh, I don't even want to think that far. How couples handle money has the potential to either strengthen or weaken their bond. And like I said, some people have broken up because they could not manage their finances in that marriage. So understanding the role of finances and learning how to manage them is crucial for a long-lasting marital happiness. I'm telling you, you want to be in that relationship for life, you got to talk about money. You have to talk about it no matter how difficult it is. Otherwise, the issue that will come without talking about it, those issues will be bigger. I'm telling you. So we don't want that. So let's begin to open up our mind as I give this talk. If you're the type you don't like talking money, when it comes to money, I don't want to discuss, please do, because you don't want issues to come as a result of not talking about it. So why is money important in marriage? Big question. Please feel free, like I say, you can, chat, put a question or any feedback so far on the chat, and if I see that, I'm going to read it out, and I hope I'll be able to explain. But don't worry, you can always come in when I finish my talk and we'll talk about it some more. So why is money matter? Why does money matter in relationship or in marriage relationship? Money is intertwined with everyday life. We spend money literally every day. Literally every day. So from paying bills, planning for the future, and handling unexpected expenses to the small expenses. You didn't plan to buy what is it now, a bottle of milk, but on your way from work you had to just stop by, you got the milk. We don't have bread. Is there butter? And then you spend money. You have to spend. Everyday purchases. Finances influence a couple's daily interaction and the long-term goals as well. So whether it's short-term goal, long-term goal, money has to be talked about. Many couples come into marriage with different attitude towards money. Different attitude, different background, different knowledge about how to manage money. Different attitude towards money, shaped by their upbringing, their experiences, and their individual values. So these differing attitudes can lead to tension if not addressed openly and thoughtfully. I'm telling you, you're from a different background to your spouse, no matter, even if you live in the same village, you have different parents. Their attitude to money is what they've passed on to you. And, hopefully you pass a better one to your children, and we hope to get better when we pass these things along. Some people, there's money, they just spend it. Some people's attitude, it's like, we don't do that. You have to plan. I understand, maybe you didn't plan for certain things and then it happens, you just have to get it. But I'm not talking about impulse buying or impulse spending or things like that. No. So let's look at certain aspects to this topic: marriage and money, marriage and finances. In case you're just joining, Miss D, I see you. Lady Severa, thanks for joining. I hope you stay, till when I open the box. Let's talk about this thing some more. So common financial challenges in marriage. It's not all that common, no. Let me put it out there. It's not all that common because, like I said, these issues sometimes break up homes. These things happen. It's never a couple's intention, but things happen. So different spending habits. Number one challenge. One partner may be a spender while the other is a saver. So this difference can cause friction when trying to balance financial goals, such as saving for a house, managing debt, or planning vacation. You're the type of like, okay, let's plan for a vacation that it's convenient, it's okay, you're gonna enjoy it and all, and the other person's like, no, let's go all out, all expensive. I'm not saying it's wrong, don't get me wrong, but what have you got saved already for your vacation? That means if what you have saved is not enough, that means you have to dip into other courses and things like that which you didn't plan for. So we need to be wise when we're talking about money and marriage, or marriage and money. That is what I'm saying. So different spending habits from the spouses, especially when their opinion about spending is different to each other, the more reason they need to sit down and talk about things before it gets out of hand. It's not something you can shy away from for so long, because there will be issues. Again, another challenge is debt. Couples may enter marriage with individual debts such as student loans, for us who live in this part of the world, the Western world, credit card debt, or even car loans. So handling this kind of debt as a team can either bring couple close together or cause significant stress. You might come in and say, okay, I'm still owing my student loan of this amount, X amount. Are you owing any? No, I paid it off last year, and you're planning to get married and all of that. Talk about it. It's not until when you get into the marriage, you're like, I have 70,000 of student loan I need to pay. And your spouse will almost faint. What are you talking about? Why didn't you tell me this? So communication, well, I'm still going to come to that, but let me just go on steadily. So death can cause what is it called, can cause issues in a marriage. It's one of the challenges money can bring when you're in debt and you don't talk about it, and then you go into that marriage relationship, or even in the marriage relationship you go into debt, you're not allowing your partner to know about it. That can create a problem in the long run. Another challenge is financial control. Sometimes one partner may take charge of the finances, leaving the other partner feeling uninformed and unimportant. Alternatively, if both partners try to control the finances without coordination, this can lead to power struggle. Some believe that, it's the man that should handle all the money affairs. They don't even know how much their bills are, how much they're paying for their mortgage, in case you have one. They don't even know car insurance, the bills for the for the electricity, water bills. And some women feel, my husband handles everything, he knows everything, but and then you don't even bother about it. You need to be careful, even if you're not the one handling it, you should know these things. You live in that household. How much are you paying for your electricity? Both of you should be able to say. How do you keep a tab on overspending or things like that? So you need to not leave your spouse to it. You have to be involved in money matters. Again, another challenge could be job loss or career shift. A sudden change in income, such as losing a job or shifting from full-time to a part-time career, can dramatically impact the couple's finances. And that's just the truth. And this can even cause some emotional strain. Not just on the woman. I'm not talking gender here now. Everybody, money affects everybody. Whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. These things, it does happen. You were earning certain amount before, for whatever reason. It could be redundancy. It could be, I don't know, it could be whatever reason you've lost the job. Of course, that income coming into that house is gone down. You have to sit and talk about it. Where do we go from here? Pending the time your spouse is going to get a new job, or pending the time they're going to start that business, or whatever it is, you have to sit and talk about it. So it's very important. Otherwise, you start feeling some emotional strain, like it's one-sided now, this person carrying all the burden, and the other party is just still spending, regularly. There will be issues. And again, this one, I need us to understand, could be an issue to money talks in marriage. But children are blessings from the Lord. You and I know that. Children is one of the challenges because people don't know how to manage things properly. Raising children comes with significant financial responsibility, including education costs, healthcare, everyday living expenses. Proper financial planning is crucial to avoid undue stress. You need to talk about it. When you want to start planning to having children, how many children do you think, your situation right now? Are we going to go for one? I mean, nobody knows the future, I get it, but you need to plan. Just plan ahead of time. When I started having my children years ago, things were not this expensive, but now you really have to consider childcare, a lot of things. In fact, there was a time I said, you know what, I'll just have to stick with a part-time job. And I was so grateful I had a job for as long as I needed the job. It allowed me to drop my children off in school, to pick them after, when I finish work, I pick them up. It was good. I saved a lot of money on childcare because I'm like, maybe let me not even go there. It really helped me because if I sat down to calculate how much I saved on childcare, trust me, I don't think any company will pay me that at the time anyways. So it was a good thing. We sat and talked, one person doing a part-time job to be able to look after the children, and the other person into a full-time job, so that things are still balanced. But we talk about it. If I felt the need to go full-time, then I know, okay, childcare is sorted. and that will cost money as well. So you can't escape. Guys, we just have to talk about it. Again, another aspect I want to look at is effective communication about money. So I've been building up on that effective communication. Talk about things. Don't just assume. Don't just feel, oh, this person is in charge, oh, that person. And then when there's issue, you now start lamenting. Crying over spilled milk will not help that situation. So effective communication about money is another thing I want us to talk about. And we know that the cornerstone of managing finances in marriage is communication. Couples must be open and transparent about their financial situations, their habits, and their goals. That's why you have to be open and honest with your spouse. Some people will outrightly just raise their hand. You know what? I'm bad with money. If you want us to have any savings, you better just take control of it. They outright would tell you this is their weakness and they're not fighting you over it. You just take charge, they will do their bits and all of that. Because if you left the money in their care, you know that you will not see anything by the next day. And then kata kata don't bust, as my people will say. So effective communication about money. Discuss expectations. So before marriage, especially, not when you get into that marriage, you're now surprising one another about money matters, because before it's all about lovey-dovey, the Ajayi and all of those things, So please, before marriage, start talking about money talks. Discuss your expectations about money earlier on in your courtship, and all of that, or earlier on in your relationship, adventure, you're now married. Okay, come to think of it, we never really talked about money. I mean, the earlier you started, the better for both of you. Discuss your financial background, discuss your current financial status, and even the future expectations as well. So this can include talks about salaries, debts you're owing, savings, and spending habits. I know sometimes it's not as easy or as simple as I say, because some spouse may have loads of money and they don't want their new husband or new wife to know about it, so they might not want to disclose all about their money. It's your choice. I'm not faulting you, I'm not fighting you, but it's your choice if you choose to do that way. But you and I know that secrets or things like that is just a matter of time, and when your spouse gets to find out, it's going to break something in them. So why not just both of you sit down and talk about such matters, So again, talk about your salaries, your debts, your savings, and all of those things. Talk about it. And again, another way, when you're talking about effective communication about money in marriage relationship, set joint goals. Anyway, let me not jump it. I feel like finishing already, but there's just a lot there. I'm mindful of the time. Set joint goals, not account yet. I'll get to that place anyway. Let me not jump it. So establishing shared financial goals can unite couples in their efforts. It can, whether it's buying a home, planning for retirement, or saving for children's education. Having common objectives allow couples to work together towards something meaningful. So you have the same goal about what your money is going to go into, where you're going to spend your money on, how you're even going to invest and things like that. Just talk about every aspect of it, because sometimes you find out that a spouse might know more about investment and things like that, and the other spouse, they don't have a clue. You can rub minds together, talk about things, and don't just go behind like, oh, she doesn't know anything or he doesn't know anything about finances. I'm the accountant here and I know, or you just go and invest the money without telling your spouse. There will be problem. Effective communication. Again, budgets together. Creating a budget together helps ensure that both partners have input and are on the same page. It also reduces misunderstandings and creates a sense of teamwork. Pastor Jakes, good evening. Wow, it's good to see you, Pastor. You're welcome. So, budgets together. Even if you're going to have separate budgets, you know the extent of the separate budgets you have. Certain things, you can do, I can do, but certain things we have to sit down and talk about doing it together, and that creates a sense of teamwork, so that the other person is not feeling left out of the financial decisions in that marriage. Again, regular check-ins. This one, good evening, sir. This one is very crucial. Don't say because we talked about money last year, do we have to talk about it again? As long as you're still in that marriage, as long as you're still eating, breathing, living in a house, riding a car, or whatever it is, you're spending money, you have to keep talking about it. So, regular check-ins, make financial discussions a regular part of your relationship. Like I say, sometimes money talk is hard. Some spouse may not just want to sit and talk about money. It's like, oh, you're squeezing the life out of them. But it is what it is. We want to enjoy our marriages, so we have to do what it takes in order to enjoy it. So couples should set aside time monthly or quarterly to review their financial status, track their progress on their goals they've set, and adjust plans if necessary. Why I said that is, for example, in your house, you have your house, you're paying mortgage. Maybe you want to have an extension or something, and you sat down about it, you talked about it, and you did your findings. It's going to cost you £100, just as an example, and you set £100 aside, and you start working and all of that. We all know what the economy is saying, and then all of a sudden, all the materials, all the things you need to get, the prices have gone rocket high. You didn't plan for that. So you have to sit down and talk about, my dear, £100 is not going to do this anymore. How much can we afford to? Can we even cut what we want to do? Things like that. You have to sit and talk about it. You might say, you know what, we can put on hold. Let's try and put some money together again and carry on, or whatever it is. But don't just sit down and assume, money is not enough to do this project. I'll just quickly take from here and just quickly do. And then your spouse is doing the normal check-ins and it's like, there's 500 missing from that account. What's happened? Oh, remember that project? We budgeted £100 and now it's costing 500, so I just took it without their knowledge. Hey, nobody wants that. As simple as these things are, it goes a long way. And some people, it's even a habit with them. So, like I say, when I give this talk, let us self-reflect. Not just listen, let us self-reflect. If you're the bad spender, begin to identify yourself now. And if you're the prudent type, begin to identify yourself as well. Maybe you can rub off on your spouse, who knows? So check in regularly, make sure that you're still on track in terms of your plan, whatever you want to spend the money on, whatever savings you've, set aside to achieving and all of that. And again, I'm going to talk about practical steps for managing finances together. This one, I'll be doing either or because there's no one answer to it. What works for me might not work for you. And that's why I need us to come and rub minds together. Create a joint account if appropriate, quote and unquote. I have my reasons for saying that. Create a joint account if appropriate. If, please, understand, if appropriate. While some couples prefer to keep separate accounts, many find that having a joint account for shared expenses like rent, groceries, and utilities can foster unity. Others may prefer a hybrid system, where joint and individual accounts coexist. I think few weeks back or a couple of months ago, I shared of this spouse who decided to come together to open a joint account. They're both working, and I'll just give this as an example. They're supposed to, each person, each month, they've opened a joint account. They're supposed to put, say, for example, £50 every month, each person. So every month there should be £100 entering into that account. They're not going to spend it. If at all they have to sit and talk about it, they agreed this is the amount we're putting in, and then this will be our savings. Or maybe things can come out from there, but we are both aware. But the hobby is a free spender. Let's put it that way. So this woman, she just kept on putting her bits into it, and then one of these days, when you're on your phone, you're just like, oh, let me even check our account. Let's see how much we have already. This was like maybe 6 months into their saving that into that account, and lo and behold, she opened the account. My, oh my, oh my. There was about £3 something left in that account. She nearly fainted. She said, even the money I was putting in, he was spending. He didn't put his own, but the one I was putting in, he was spending. Good evening, Apos. I hope you're good. Imagine the shock on the woman's face. So that was why I said, if appropriate, you know your spouse. Some of us maybe were just getting to know each other. Imagine if you were that woman, or if you were that man, you think you're saving. That husband just opens the account, you just see £3 something instead of £1,000 or something. How do you think that will hit you? Would you say, ah, well done, my dear, you've done good. On our behalf, you spent the money, I'll be okay. No, that can create this conflict that only God will come and help them to resolve in it, because it breaks a lot of things: integrity, trust, openness, honestly, transparency, and all of that is broken in that one simple act. So we need to be careful, guys. We need to be careful when we're talking about money. So if you think opening a joint account will not be beneficial for your relationship, please do not. That's why I said this one. I'll be saying or, either or, because what works for Mr. A or marriage A might not work for marriage B. And on the other hand, some couples, they have their integrity and all of that. They stick with the plan. And at the end of the day, they see, maybe at the end of the year, they see how much they both put in. And they can even, reward each other, get a gift for each other or something of that nature. Hope you are well and trust you had a wonderful birthday. Oh, thank you. My brother, Apostle, I had a wonderful, in fact, it was too emotional for me. Sometimes you don't even appreciate yourself enough until such a day as that, starting from children, hobby, everybody, and I feel blessed and loved. So, and guess what? All of you on my social media pages, to all of you, I read messages till like 1, 2 a.m. I'm like, Lord, have mercy. Only me, all these prayers, all this love. So to everyone out there who celebrated my birthdays with me, praying, wishing me well and all of that, I say thank you. I know sometimes we take these things for granted, but I don't. It was quite an emotional one, because I was just reading on Facebook, I was reading on Instagram, TikTok will not even let me rest every minute. I'm like, oh my goodness, wow. Thank you all so much. I really love and appreciate you all. Thank you for celebrating my birthday with me. So again, I'm coming back to this create a joint account if appropriate. It does not have to be a thing like you must, because like I said again, it depends on the background you're coming from. Some couples, they found out that their parents had joint account. That was where money was going out to sorting mortgage, car, anything, any expense at all. So they would sit down and plan things. And this one I'm going to put in as well, set a spending limit. Because in as much as we sit and agree and talk about things, you still have to be kind of independent of your own kind of a thing. So agree on a threshold for purchases without consulting the other partner, so that you can avoid dispute. So you might say, for example, to one another, okay, of your own, without you even asking me, you can spend £200. Likewise, it goes with me. So I can spend £200 and we're okay individually. I don't need to know what you've done with it or whatever. Those are kind of talk. You sit and talk. And then you know that this is a mutually consented agreement. You don't go to break it. If for any reason on your own, what you're going to chase after is over that 200 threshold you've given yourself, you need to consult with your spouse. Otherwise, conflicts may arise. Even if your spouse trusts you with their life, which we're meant to anyways, you still need to give them that regard, that honor, and let them know. So even if it's £201, £205, just mention to them, I know, honey, we've said £200 is our limit individually, but this thing I really want to do is about 205. So, oh, come on, you can have it, or I'll give you from my 200 or something. Just carry them along and let them be part of that decision you're making regarding money in that marriage. And again, thank you, Honey Blinks. Thanks for joining. Emergency fund. Do we talk about these things when we're talking about money matters in our marriages? Establish an emergency fund to cover unexpected expenses such as medical emergencies, which we don't plan for or we don't plan to happen to us. Good evening. I trust you're good. Car repairs. You've just gone to service that car and you're like, ah, bam, I'm good to go for the next 6 months or whatever. And then the 2 weeks later, something is doing in the car. You're like, oh my goodness, we didn't plan for this. So always have emergency fund if you can. It's just a suggestion out there if you can, because it really does help, when things go AWOL, so to say. So emergency car repairs or sudden job loss, because when a sudden job loss, that salary stops automatically. They're not going to pay you, except maybe you have redundancy, you might have a lump sum, and that could last you for a little while and all of that. So imagine a sudden job loss. I mean, what do you fall on? Have you made that provision already? So these are things we need to consider when we're talking about money in marriage. Again, plan for retirement and long-term security. Don't wait until you're 2 years to retiring before you start making that plan. Please, let's plan, because the way the world is going fast. When was it we're saying happy new year? Now we're about saying, wow, the end of the year is just before us. So couples should start saving for their retirement as early as possible. Even whether you're married or you're not married, you can start saving something if you have the means to anyways. And again, investing in your retirement account. For this part of the world, or America, or wherever, they have some certain accounts that they encourage people to open, the IRAs, the pensions, and all of that, and again, discuss long-term financial security with your spouse. It's very essential so that you have peace of mind in later years. Some people, life happens in so many ways, and I like to keep it real here. Some people, when they're retired, their children are long gone. They don't even look back to say mom is there or dad is there. So now imagine you're hoping that these children will come and look after you in your old age, and that is not forthcoming. What is going to happen to you? What is going to happen to your spouse? So these are things you of your own need to start planning towards. Talk with your hubby, even if it's, you'll be amazed. Even if it's £1, well, I'm using pound because of where I live. Even if it's £1 a week or something, put aside. It goes a long way. Even me that I'm talking to you, when I was putting this, I said, sometimes you think it's always, well, if you don't have 1,000 to put away, you don't think there's a need to put any money away. No, as little as you have, even if it's a £5 a week, a month, put it aside somewhere. Because you never can tell when you're going to be needing that. And, God helping us, we keep at it. And, and it grows over time. You can invest. I don't know much about investing and all of that, but you can always find out if that's what you're interested in. Again, deal with debt as a team. When there's debt in the family, as in D-E-B-T, English sometimes is debt. So if one or both partners have debt, it's crucial to develop a repayment strategy together. That's why I said before you even say, yes, I do, yes, I don't, yes, I do, or whatever, talk about finances, talk about these things. In this part of the world, a lot of young people, a lot of them, they have student loans they have to pay back. They've been to the university for 3 years. Each year is probably up to like 12 grand and maintenance. They have to pay back. So some people are running into 60,000 or more, by the time they finish university. Talk about these things with your spouse. Oh, guess what, honey? I've not finished paying my student loan. So this is what I've put in place. And your spouse might say, okay, for what you're adding, in order to pay it quickly, I'll add so amount, or maybe in the nearest future I might be able to support you to pay it off. Talk about it, please. So couples should decide whether to pay off debts individually or jointly based on what's fair and visible, and that's just a reasonable way to go about it. So I'm going to be rounding up shortly, but before I do, I just must mention this emotional aspect of money in marriage. You might be wondering, maybe, like I say, the counselor in me will always come out somewhere. Emotional aspect of money in marriage. Money isn't just about numbers. It's deeply emotional. Many people associate financial security with feelings of control, freedom, or safety, while others may feel fear. I mentioned earlier, some people are afraid to talk about money. They just, once they say "ma," before you say "ni," they are gone. You see they are back. So others may feel fear, guilt, or anxiety when discussing money. So please, you have to get a hold of yourself and talk about these things. If you don't want it to go beyond anxiety and guilt or fear or whatever. Recognizing and addressing this emotion is crucial to avoid unnecessary tension in that marriage relationship. I'll talk about empathy and understanding. Both partners must be empathetic toward each other's financial perspective. If one partner grew up in a financially unstable environment, they may feel a stronger need for savings and security, while the other may feel comfortable taking financial risks. Like I said, our backgrounds are different in terms of upbringing, relating to finance, relating to values, principles of life, and things like that, of course. So the only way we can be on the same page is if we sit down and talk about it. So we need to be empathetic towards one another and understanding where my spouse is coming from. You have to, so that you can meet up with them where they're at, and then together you can move forward together. Avoid a blame. Avoid blame. Like I say, I'm mentioning some emotional aspects of money in marriage. Avoid blame. So if financial difficulties arise, such as debt or job loss, it's essential not to blame anyone. Don't place blame on anyone, because it could have been you. We all make mistakes. Sometimes we'll pay for that mistake in a hard way. So work together to find solution and support each other emotionally, because whatever has been done already, that person is feeling bad because they've lost thousands of pounds or thousands of money, and then you're going blaming, you see, I told you should have Okay, after that, what then after that? So we need to be empathetic. We need to avoid blaming our spouses. And I'm not saying just take things lightly either, because if not, they might just repeat the same thing and put you even into more grave danger financially. So, but I mean, let's be empathetic, like I said, towards one another. So how do we work towards financial harmony? See, for every challenge in that marriage, I believe strongly with the whole of my heart, there is a solution out there somewhere. Whether we're now looking for that solution to help us in our marriages, it's a different ball game altogether. So working towards financial harmony, money is one of the most common source of tension in marriage. I'll repeat. Money is one of the most common sources of tension in marriage, but it can be a source of strength if managed effectively. By working together, communicating openly, and making joint financial decisions, couple can achieve financial harmony and build a solid foundation for their future. Not even theirs alone, for their children as well. Because you're hoping that our children will be better, in everything more than we have or we have achieved. And likewise, if the financial management we've passed on to them is crap, so to say, they'll be crappier. So we need to be mindful of these things. So in this little talk, I'm going to leave us with a verse of the Bible tonight. But before I say that, my aim, or the aim of this kind of talk, is that we hope that people will find it easier to talk about money or finances in their marriage. And that's the truth, because I know it can be hard. I know it can be hard, a thing to talk about sometimes. And I hope that this will encourage couples to communicate more effectively about their finances, help them set shared financial goals. Don't think it's ridiculous. Don't think it's too much. Share with your spouse. Who else would you share it with if not your spouse? Again, I hope it promotes mutual respect and cooperation in managing money. Like I said, you know yourself, you're not a good manager of money. Don't allow your spouse to entrust every money management into your hands. Be open and say, my dear, this thing, I don't think it will work. Or, you know me, the way I spend. Be open and let them know. So together, you will do it together consciously and deliberately, to manage it, so that you don't go into running into trouble in the long run. So, and I hope it equips couple to, find practical tools for budgeting, saving, managing their debts, or whatever the money issue or situation is in your own relationship. And again, I hope it fosters emotional awareness around financial issues, reducing stress. That's the whole idea, and increasing marital satisfaction. Other areas of life may be challenged, and you're like, okay, we'll pray together. You can pray about money. Pray about money, or pray for your spouse. If you think they're a lavish spender, or they just spend, and it puts you in trouble all the time, it doesn't mean your spouse loves you any less. That's just the way they probably grew up spending money. They don't know any better. So sometimes you might have to take this thing to the Lord in prayer. It's not too big for God to do. And then talk as well. Prayer without works is dead. You know that. So supporting Bible verse I'm going to leave us with tonight is in Proverbs 21:5 for believers out there. Even non-believers, you can Google it and read what does it say and try to understand. There's so many Bible verse. I don't know, this one came at me, so I'll just use it to round up tonight. So the plan, it says in Proverbs 21:5, it says the plans of the diligent lead surely to plenty, but those of everyone who is hasty surely to poverty. We don't want our financial plans to lead us to poverty, do we? No, we want it to lead us to plenty. That's why all of these things I've talked about today, I hope it has helped us. And this verse really reminds a couple that careful planning and diligence in managing finances will bring abundance and peace in the long run. That is the whole idea of this particular talk. And I'm going to conclude by saying financial success in marriage requires teamwork. It's no longer me, myself, and I. Teamwork. It requires trust and a long-term vision, which you have to sit and talk about. Again, communication. When couples prioritize transparency, respect, and shared responsibility in their financial life, they pave way for a stable and fulfilling relationship. Sometimes it's very difficult to get there, but we'll get there eventually, and it becomes a part of life. It becomes a routine. We know not to mess with our finances. We know to consult each other when we want to do some spendings. We know to say, oh, because my husband trusts me, I can just go ahead and do this thing. Imagine me trying to go and buy a car. I mean, who's coming to check the car for me in the first place? Not him. And then I just come on one day, surprise, honey, I just bought myself a new car. Were you planning this before? Did we talk about, how come you didn't even say anything? It will bring issues that we might not mentally, physically be ready for. So let's not put ourselves into that situation. Bengi, I see you. Thanks for joining. So that's my talk for today. My one question for us is, should money matters break up a marriage relationship? Should money matters break up a marriage relationship? I don't know. Thank you for liking the live. Thank you. Honey Blames, thank you for the likes. Thank you. Pastor Gibbs, welcome. I see you. Openda, I see you. I am Peter. I see you. Thanks for joining. Peter Agada, I see you. You're welcome. I hope you've been listening on the FY. I hope. Thank you, Coach Tola, for liking the live. So guys, that's my question, that's my talk, and my question for today. Should money matters break up a marriage relationship? Because you and I know that it does. But should money matters break up a marriage relationship? Please send an invite. Let's expand this some more. Maybe there's some things I've not even talked about, I didn't mention. Oh, thank you so much for the gifts. Please feel free. Let's talk about these things. It's safe here. Like I say, please. Let's be open, let's be real, let's talk about these things to help one another enjoy our marriage. God's intention is for us to enjoy marriage. But sometimes there's this thing in my language I'm trying to translate in my head before saying it. There's some things that it's Coach Sola, help me with this English. You're the cause of it. I don't know. Maybe somebody will help me when they come into the box. you brought that upon yourself, kind of a thing.
Yeah, it was hard for all of us.
Self-inflicted.
Yourself. Oh, thank you.
I know.
I've never been treated like that before.
You don't want to find yourself doing that to yourself. And then there's no self anymore when you're in a marriage relationship. Thank you so much, Coach Stola, for joining tonight. I hope our day and our week has been good, sis.
Been great, thank you.
So guys, can invite.
Are you sure?
Talk some more about this because myself alone cannot cover it. I need to
my name tattooed on you.
Fuck no.
because I also want to learn.
Fuck no. The fuck you.
Well, since you're
You
the
think I'll
first
get
in
my
the
name
box,
tattooed on you? Would you get my
I know
name
we're going to have
tattooed
a
on you?
wonderful start to our discussion today. So please feel free to be loud. Sis.
Okay, let me move.
Okay.
My baby is watching TV.
Yeah. How is she?
She's fine, my big baby.
I've never heard that one
No,
before.
your favorite copy.
Oh my God.
I am telling you,
In fact, oh God.
my running mate.
It is well. Thank you so much for joining. We're just going to hear from you. I think since you have some financial background to you, so you can help. Yeah. In fact, thank God. Yeah.
I was going to start off by saying that, how do they say it? Transparency. I'm a trained chartered accountant and a financial advisor. So that's where I want to start from. And I want to say, I think the starting point is let's dial back to us as individuals, because it's what we bring to the marriage that counts. If I have no knowledge of managing finances or planning finances, and I bring that into a relationship, definitely it's going to affect the relationship. So let's dial back and say, how are we as individuals, teaching our children to know how to manage money, to know how to plan, how to budget, how to do all of those things? Because if somebody brings that into a relationship, then both parties can now have, a meaningful whatever together.
Yeah.
Meaningful. So it's all about
Good evening, everyone.
where are we coming from. Good evening. And like with every other aspect of marriage, there should be financial compatibility. I'm not saying that they should earn exactly the same thing or, but I'm saying that their values with money should be either similar or it can, what's the word I'm looking for? It can, help one another. So
one another, yeah.
exactly. So if one is a spender and one is a saver, it might work well. But as long as they are open and transparent, and the person who is a spender is like, look, oh, me, I'm a spender. I was talking to somebody recently, and I was asking him the question, your last relationship, what happened to it? And he was like, he didn't feel like he could be himself, that he's a spender. That he likes to spend money. He makes money and he likes to spend money. And it was like the woman was always on his case about the money that he was spending. They weren't married, they were just dating. And he felt like, he was being judged for who he is, that he will go on holiday once a year, he will do this, he will do that. That's who he is. He believes in, he doesn't have any young children. His children have grown and left the home. So he's working hard. Why can he not spend the money? So, things like that, we have to have like the same kind of values about money. And then we can also learn from one another. We must be open enough and not allow our ego or whatever get in the way of actually learning from this person. Let's go back to the Bible again. It says the man and the woman, they were naked and they were not ashamed. Now, that nakedness is not just what happens between the sheets. It's about the vulnerability. It's about the openness. I can say to my spouse, oh, this is how much I'm earning. And I'm not afraid that I'm going to be judged. And he too can say, this is how much he's earning. And he's not afraid that my demands are going to make him bankrupt.
I know.
You know? So these are some of the things that mean that people cannot be open with one another. Then there should be plan from day one. It's not when we get inside marriage that we start planning. From day one, we should be planning together. You said a lot. You talked about savings. You talked about investing. You talked about pension planning. And it is important, all of those things, emergency funds and all that. And even when we go for the joint account, we must also have our separate account, our separate spending money. I've had an example of a couple, they were a good couple together. They were having a joint account, and anytime the woman wanted to take out money, it was like, oh, so what do you want to do with it? And so many questions. He wasn't a bad person or anything like that. He just wanted to know. And, the woman was trying not to say, simply because she wanted to buy a birthday present for her husband. And she wanted it to be a surprise. But he was asking so many questions that he got to a point, she was just like, okay, I want to buy you a present. I want to buy you a present.
There goes the surprise.
Now you've spot the surprise. Exactly. So we should still have our own, even though we say the two become one. I don't put on his clothes. He doesn't put on my clothes. We don't live inside one body. Yeah, it's true. Therefore, saying that we should, when a woman now wants to buy her feminine products, I'm not even talking about perfume, because that can be seen as a luxury. I'm talking about what she needs for her monthly cycle. And then she has to be asking, oh, I need money for this. And she is a working class woman. No, she must have her own spending money, and he must have his own spending money as well. Have your own, maybe, you said 200 pounds. I think 200, maybe even a lot of money. Maybe 50 pounds.
That's an example. I mean, whatever works for
I understand. 50 pounds that I can spend and blow on my own, and I don't have to account to anybody. Maybe I just felt like eating ice cream and burger. You know what I mean? I don't have to account for it. Yeah. But as you said, if it goes above 51, then I must have a conversation and say, okay, I want to buy this thing. This is how much it is. And that. So, and I think it boils down to loving, honoring, and respecting one another. Mutual respect. If we believe that this person is a human being, there's no reason to say, oh, you can't have your own money. Because I've had it said in some places. But we need to have a conversation. We need to talk. That courtship period, that dating period, is to talk about everything and anything. How much are you earning? How much debt do you have? Ask all the uncomfortable questions. If he wants to walk away or she wants to walk away, so be it. If you can go through that courtship and dating and you know each other like the back of your hand, then there's not likely to be huge surprises or red flags when we get into the marriage. I rest my case.
Thank you, Mazi said, but I'm not married yet, so I can't really contribute this beauty. It doesn't matter. You don't have to. Are you not spending money? Mazi, are you not spending money even as a single person? You're working, maybe, I don't know. What's your situation? Are you putting something aside for the rainy days? Those are the things you're talking about. So, but because on Thursday we talk about marriage relationship, and that's why we're talking about marriage and money. That's why I said this thing cuts across everybody, as long as you're alive and well. Some will say, well, Paul, everybody still spends money. So it's not only for those in a marriage relationship. And you say you're single, you're hoping, I want to believe you're hoping to get married someday. These are things you need to be aware of now, so that when you meet the right person, You talk about it whilst you're dating or courting them, whichever English suits you. So it doesn't matter, and you can also contribute as well. And Coach Tola said something which I really, really appreciate. Let's go back to individual first before we now bring couple together, because each individual, they've led a separate financial life, financial management life before they came together. How have you managed your finances as a single person? If you're struggling, tendency you will struggle with this spouse. So please feel free. You can stay or you can be in FIP. We still love to have you all the same. So I'm going to come to you, Peter Agada, because I think you're the second person that came into the box. And afterwards, I'll just call, because I don't know, I lost track of time. I'll just go in that order. So Peter, good evening. Nice to see you. Hope you're good. We'd love to hear from you. What's your take about this talk today? And I asked one question. You could start with that, or you can just give your submission. Should money matters break up a marriage relationship? That is my own key question for today. That is my own key question for today.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Coach Tola. Good to see you here again. Okay.
Good evening, Peter.
Money matter. Okay, go ahead. I always see you on Cynthia's page. Today, I'm surprised to see you here, and I'm happy.
Okay, we're all happy. Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay. All right. Concerning the matter, the money matter, to me, I feel money shouldn't be the reason for the family breaking apart or anything. If two people actually love each other, then they should be able to know that, okay, money shouldn't be the basics for it.
Yeah.
Yes, you need money to run the family, but with a proper understanding, the relationship and the marriage can strive, can go far. If they be able to understand that, okay, in a house you need someone that there will only be two people. One is saving, one is not saving. Like me now, I'm married, happily married, and sometimes I don't want to do some things, and I find out that my wife wants to do some things. So what do I need to do? I like, honey, come, we need to do this thing this way, or what do you think? I want to hear her own opinion. And when she brings up an own opinion, sometimes it doesn't go in line with mine because I feel like, oh, these are not really important now, considering the state of the country now and everything. So why don't we do it this way? And sometimes when she like try to knock, sometimes I compromise. I say, all right, go ahead and do it the way you want. But sometimes I just stand my ground and say, no, honey, this shouldn't be. Because why? I'm not thinking about the now, I'm thinking about the future. If we know where we are going, then we should plan towards that place. And it will sometimes require us to sacrifice. And so putting money first and saying, okay, well, since you're not giving me money to go and do shopping, I wouldn't stay in this relationship again or marriage again, that means it will be totally wrong. Because one, you should be able to understand the vision. What does this person need this money for? Okay, for instance, you are looking for money. Let me paint a picture. For instance, now you want to look for money for the children's school fees or house rent, and the man is probably gathering, and you are the woman as the support. You are a support system, and you are still gathering. And suddenly you just see a fancy bag, or the man just sees something that he likes and just want to go and throw away the money. That is a totally no from my end. I will just say no. It shouldn't be like that. We have something very important at hand. Why don't we just put a budget and say, okay, fine, you want to get these things? We can actually get this thing tomorrow. What happens if we get this thing tomorrow? Why don't we just get this particular thing that we have budget for, the school fees or whatever thing now? This is the primary. The other one is secondary. Why doing that? Like for me, my own case, I always like that. Okay, after I'm putting that primary, I always reserve a little and know that since you have made request for this thing, I have to start saving so that it doesn't come back, because a woman will always come back and ask you, babe, you promised me this. Where is it? So money shouldn't be a problem. It should be the understanding, and if two people are matured enough to understand that if there's no money, definitely if it's 0-0, everybody's 0. Definitely, the father entrusts you with the daughter because he believes you have the capacity to take care of the daughter. But if you waste everything, what happens? You won't be able to make up. So are you going to return the daughter back? So that's for his own. So a good management, and thank God always give us a good women that always know us to manage the home, know us to manage the finances. So I believe with that, money shouldn't be a problem at all.
Oh wow, thank you.
Thank you.
I just love the way he was speaking. All I could hear is communication is, and it has to be on the stage. I'm gonna mute you because I can hear the feedback from your things. If you're in the box and you're not the one speaking, please, I beg of us, please, let's mute so that the echo will be limited, please. So thank you so much, Peter, for your contribution. You can see when we rub minds together, we learn some more. It's always good. That communication is key because what you're thinking, your spouse might not just be there. And, you know, that bag, just like you said, is it priority right now? Is it priority right now? So if you don't talk about it to put sense into each other, there will be conflict. I will need to be mindful. If money talks are not adequately, what's the word, put into conversations, we'll just sit and assume, and then we'll create problems, which then becomes huge and all of that. So we don't want that. So thank you for that contribution. I'm coming to Amocheo 6. Is it Amoche? Is Amocheo, because 6 is by itself. Good evening to you. You're welcome to Insight. I don't know what your take is on this topic. We're talking about marriage and money, or marriage and finances. Even if you're not married, I mean, you spend money or you're thinking about money, please, we want to hear from you. Good evening to you.
Good evening, all.
Good evening.
My take is money should not be a problem between couples or relationships. The fact is this: if two people in a relationship, definitely one will be earning more than the other.
Yeah.
Then we will now sit down. Maybe you are in a, because I'm not married yet. Maybe you are in a relationship. You met a guy that always she's working or he's working. Let's spending the money. He'll be telling you you try to use your brain in the sense that you now look yourself. Are we comfortable with this person? That's, you may be a lady there's some lady they don't spend a lot. They are careful the way they spend. Because me, I believe as a single lady, after God, another thing is your money. That is only money.
Wow.
Because when you don't have it, you are in need. That's how you know that Kakino be leather. So, as a lady, if you are working or you are doing business, you will be mindful of the way you spend your money.
Yeah.
Because you know that it will be in a space in your life that is only if God is not, in fact, after God is that money that you can use to solve your problem. Maybe your age, you are not expecting your parents to come back and be spending money where they are spending when you're so you be mindful of the way you spend it. Likewise, when you marry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once with the guy, maybe during your courtship, you will notice that this one likes to be spending, then you now use your bill. Because I have one pastor that I normally follow, he will now tell you that even though you have joint account, still have your separate account. So if maybe you people now said at the end of the month, this is what we'll be saving. After saving that one, because in this aspect of joint account or money, I feel that women are always the victim. It's only few that are lucky. That you not meet man that will be as in cheating you, spending more than you. So when you have that your own account, maybe your sibling, whoever that runs to you don't want to, because there are some things in your family you don't want to disclose it to your husband. Maybe later he may use it against you and say, this and that. You now use that your own money to solve that problem without letting him know. When you now say that you'll be saving everything with him, my dear, one day you will ask for something, maybe ask for money, he will turn down. You will now say, don't touch the account. And when you now said, I must remove money from there, you will now see that you are disobeying him. So to me, money should not be a problem. Money should not bring issues. It's only understanding. You understand each other and discuss it. This is how we'll be doing. And this money, before we remove it, everybody will agree. Both of you will not say it and move like that. I feel like with that, money should not be a problem or make you to leave your relationship or your marriage. It's only when you people are not understand. You people are, in fact, don't love each other or you don't understand each other. One tries to pass more than the other. Thank you.
Thank you so much. She said it as well. As a single person, as a married person, we need to be considerate when it comes to money matters. Because if you're, as a single person, you don't manage your money well, you will run into debt or you run into loss. And nobody wants to lose money, not in this economy. No, every penny helps, as they say. So thank you so much. Thank you for that. Mazi, how are you? I hope you're good. Thanks for joining us on Insight today. I don't know what your take is on about this topic, but we'd love to hear from you.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I must appreciate this platform.
Thank you.
I don't think this is my first time here.
Okay.
Or this is actually my first time talking here.
Oh, okay.
So, well, you're doing a very wonderful job, and I must comment.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Welcome, sir.
So, to the topic on ground, the reason why I said I really don't know, I don't think I have something to contribute is, we live in a generation that is messed up already. Yes.
Sad.
We live in a generation. Yeah. We live in a generation that is messed up. There is this societal standard of living that has been forcefully imposed on people, that people, or the young people, have to emulate. That's actually not a good standard. But then it has more effect on the women, the young women of this generation. And if we continue that way, it's going to be terrible. I don't think the next generation will ever venture into marriage. Okay, if money is important, or if money is the most important, I don't know, in marriage, or if money is enough to break a marriage or a relationship, the answer is no.
Okay.
To my own opinion.
Okay.
Because if you check from statistics, money contributes maybe, let me put it this way, maybe 20% or 30% of the success of every family or every marriage. This is from what my own survey.
Okay.
Because if money was a bedrock, most marriages that are broken from very, very extremely wealthy people, it wouldn't have broken by now. But the fact that we prioritize this finance, the money of a thing, it has caused a lot of damage in relationships and marriages today. Because if you go into a relationship with somebody, all they want to talk about is money, 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 money. One thing I know is, as a young man, whatever assignment God would give you in marriage is assignment he has already given you as a single person. If you're unable to do those things as a single person, you are most likely never be able to do it as a married person. If you don't learn financial discipline as a single person, even if you marry 10 wives, you'll still not be able to do it. As a woman without financial discipline, if you like, marry the likes of Otedola and Dangote, you still have issues with it.
Yeah, true.
So you see, the dating pool for young people in this generation is messed up.
It is.
Most of these problems are problems that should have never occurred in marriages. But because they neglect the importance of dating, the important things they should discuss in dating when they are dating, they neglect it. They focus on sex. They focus on what's it called? They say vibes. Women will say vibes. They neglect the important things. They don't discuss. There's no terms and conditions. I don't know your terms as a girl. You don't know my terms. I don't know your earning capacity. I don't know your spending capacity. We are just catching cruise, and then all of a sudden we find ourselves in this thing called marriage, and we're confused. We don't know where to go. We don't know how to handle things. And along the line, you realize that the marriage will crash, or they start having issues. Another thing I have also observed is this self. You always hear yourself.
Myself and I.
Self, me. Some people would be like, make myself, I think I come first. I have to make myself happy before I have to please my partner. It's a crazy mindset because in marriage, from what I have known, marriage is more of a sacrifice.
Yeah.
You are not there to actually please yourself. You are there to please your partner while your partner pleases you. That's one thing I have known. And then this money, you see people, they'll put money in the center of the marriage. I heard, I don't know, I'm trying to remember the exact person that said joint account. For me, I don't really have an issue about with having a joint account with my partner.
Yeah.
But from the onset, I have to know how financially disciplined my partner is. You understand?
Yeah, definitely.
Because her financial decision could wreck me or make me. Yes. I don't believe in secrets. I don't believe in all this secrecy. If I have a partner,
Agree with you, yes.
we discuss everything. I tell you everything. You cannot have a family issue that I am not aware of. As long as you are aware, I should be aware. And if it is something that we have to sort financially, I should be aware. I would support you. I won't ask you not to do it. But I should be aware of everything you do. But the problem is, most people will go into these things. Like there's what Amuche said. There's some financial problem that might come up in family. And you may not want your partner to, know. So maybe they won't use it to insult you in the nearest future. I think I don't know if I should put this as an advice, but then I would say, for women that are still single, that are listening to this thing, I would say, why choosing a spouse? I think you should be mindful. Try to choose an emotionally mature person. Yes, somebody that is emotionally mature, because I don't see how I have a wife. She has a family problem. And she tells me, oh, I'm aware, and maybe there is a quarrel along the line, I would use it against her. That's stupid.
Very.
And that's what happens when women settle with men that are emotionally immature. You understand?
Yeah.
So, but I think the major point is money shouldn't be an issue. Money only contributes maybe 20 or 30% of the success of every relationship. So it shouldn't even be a base to argue about. From the dating period to the marriage,
Thank you.
these things should have been sorted out already. The partners, the both people in the game should know their capacities and how to handle finance.
Yeah.
I think that's Jersey. That's what I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you. I always say here on Thursdays, marriage is not for boys and girls. Marriage is for mature man and mature woman. I always say that. So thank you for emphasizing that again. See, there are some things, imagine a cup of water in your hand. Yeah. If I want to sell this cup of water to you, I would say the nicest thing, the whatever things to make you believe this thing is, if you don't take this water, you may just even, die, so to say. Likewise, in that relationship where you're talking about money, if you place money as number one before your spouse, before God, before anything, it will be a problem. It will be a problem. Some people, I don't know if somebody mentioned, some people, they just spend, they don't care. The money's coming in, so why can't they just spend it? But then what happens if you lose your job all of a sudden? What happens if the car just breaks down, you have to get a new one? What happens for the uncertainties of life that comes? How do you value money in your relationship? Is it number one? If they ask you your money or your spouse, say, it's money, oh, that's what we have out there. Honestly, this one, I don't know how else to put it. I don't really envy young people of today because there's so many misconceptions out there about marriage. Some will tell you the person you want to marry, if they don't have money, don't start that relationship. The person you want to marry, if they can't buy you car, buy you house, buy you this, don't marry. And I'm like, seriously? Is this what we're passing on to the next generation? That money is everything? So, well, thank you so much again for your contribution. We'll take it further. Mary, I see you. I think I was seeing some red bars on your box. I say, please don't let this thing start today. How are you, sis? It's been a while.
It's been a while indeed.
Money is on top of the for women these days, but it's different for men. Okay. Honey Blinks, you said that. Okay, you guys are, I can see you're chatting in there. So I'll still come to you, Honey Blinks. Mary, over to you. Good evening.
Good evening to you, Sissy. We can take it to Honey, please, and the other one.
You say?
Let the others take it for now.
All right, okay, all right. Thank you for coming. Anyways, I get you. She's one of my moderators, by the way. Thank you so much. So I'm coming to you, Honey Blinks, yeah. But before I do, I think I'm looking at the time now. Let me just put my puzzle there. So Mary, please help put this up. It's the puzzle from last week, guys, and I want to believe we're going to do our research. Okay. I hope people will not bite my head off. Did I say this? I don't think so. So the puzzle from last week I had to bring back. Nobody got it. I said a whole week for you to go and do your research and bring the answer. So the question is, let me just mute you. Thank you. Okay, because there was a bit of noisy background there. So the puzzle for today, I'll leave it up there. If you know the answer, you're in the box already, please feel free to unmute and tell us, and you get a gift for today. If you're on the page there, just type it in if you know the answer. So my puzzle for today is, what did the car salesman shout in church? What did the car salesman shout in church? Oh, nobody got it last week. So let's see if we'll get a winner today. Otherwise, I'll eat my donuts and we'll get a winner today. Peter Agada, you want to try? Peter Agada, you want to try? No, okay, there's something in there. Hello, Peter. Hello, Peter. Just try and mute him.
I'm trying to get the puzzle so that I can think on it before responding.
Okay.
That's why I'm typing it out so that I don't miss it. Yeah.
Okay then. I don't know why your end is echoing. Lily's Queen. How are you, sis? God bless you. Thanks for joining. So, okay, Honey Blinks, I'm gonna come to you. If you can help type it in, Mary, so that people can see it as we carry on discussing marriage and money, marriage and finances. We've really dissected the talk, but I know there's still more to learn from one another. And I appreciate everyone's submission. Really, there's always something to learn from another person. So Honey Blinks, please come and add flesh to all this chat that is going on there. I think I missed a bit. I trust you're good. Good to see you here on Insight. Let's hear from you, Honey Blinks.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
All right, good evening, everyone. Yeah, so on the topic marriage, money, and finance, it's hard that, or should I say, it's a hard truth that finance is not supposed to be an issue in a relationship or marriage, but sadly these days it's like one of the top issues,
I know.
especially in relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's very very disheartening, I would say, because for a man that's hustling is sole purpose of hustling is to be able to take care of his responsibilities, of which his partner is supposed to be part of his responsibility. But women don't see it that way. Women just feel the whole of their life responsibility. Not all women. Let me correct that. Not all
Don't go and
women.
look for trouble.
So most women, especially this generational, our generation women, they see it as the man should be the one to take care of our responsibilities and all that, and it's very very wrong. It's very very wrong. I was supposed to say something earlier. I didn't write it down, so I probably as I'm going on, I'll remember.
Okay.
When to okay, let's talk about in aspect of relationship, not now, not in marriage aspect.
Okay.
You see two young supposed couples coming up planning to get married, and they're trying to put plans in place and talk about this. How is the wedding going to be like? How is the marriage itself going to be like? Because the wedding is different from the marriage, and some people don't understand that.
Oh, tell me about
The
it.
wedding is different from the marriage. Most women are focused on the wedding that day, that's what is going to happen that day. But a man is focused on after the wedding, what happens next? How am I going to survive? How am I going to cope? How am I going to take care of you? For some men that also have other responsibilities that they have to take care of,
Yeah.
they also have to put into consideration those things. That's why you see these days guys are not even eager to get married, because they are like taking into consideration the economy. How am I going to cope with all this? How am I going to, and also taking into consideration their earnings, because even what they are earning is barely enough to take care of them. Then talk more of now adding an extra burden to themselves. But women don't see it that way. They just want. That's why these days most guys refer to ladies as gold diggers, and it's sad, but it's true.
Wow.
Because
Some.
they just want to. Some ladies, yeah, because these ladies of these days, they don't want to work. Most of them don't want to work. They are just looking for where somebody that has. They don't just sit down
A
and be
ready-made
reaping where they
man.
did not sow.
Ready-made man.
Yes. Now a man will be willing to support a woman that has nothing, to so long she has a vision or a career. Even though she has nothing, a man will willingly stand by that woman to make sure she grows. But it's difficult these days to see a woman supporting a man. I'm not saying there are no women that do that, but it's difficult to see a woman that
It's rare.
supports a man that is trying to grow from scratch. It's very very rare, right? So Mama, I like to use myself as an example.
Please.
If it comes to when it comes to financial, okay, I was seeing someone a while ago. I think sometime in December. Yeah, everything was going well. I was working, so that's how I was working. Okay, I was having an internship then, but the pay was relatively okay, because when you are doing a remote job and you are earning in dollar, when you convert it to naira, it's somehow makes sense, even though in dollar is most times not so big. So everything was actually going well, and at some point, me, I'm the kind of person that I like to spend money, but I like to plan before I spend that money because I know how hard I work before I get the money. So I won't just take my money and spend it anyhow. I spend a lot on internet. I spend a lot on other things. I have other responsibilities. Sometimes I don't even look at myself. I have parents to take care of. I have younger ones to take care of. Then I put all these things into consideration before I even spend my own money on myself. You get, my parents don't have any other person that they will go and meet. Say, we have these needs. We have this need. It's me and my younger ones. You get. So I told this lady, I'm a firstborn, so I have responsibilities. So even though at my age I'm dating to get married, I'm not dating to just pass time. So if you know you're not going to be patient, please don't stress me. Don't stress me. And she agreed, said she wasn't working, she was doing business. I said, okay, your business is good, but you need to improve on it. You need to, I even gave her ideas. You need to do this, you need to do this, at least to improve your business. You do sales. People that do sales, you don't have a shop, it's just online. So your marketing strategy needs to change and all that. I had to bring up some ideas for her. Then at some point, she doesn't ask me for money, which I don't have an issue with. But on my own personally, sometimes at the end of the month, I can just say, take. Sometimes without her asking, I can just send her money for data, take. Because I know, these days, data is one of the things that consumes our money. I can just say, do you have data? I don't even need to ask her if she has data. I just willingly do it. Yeah, because I have a list. Sometimes when I'm sending to my younger ones or my parents, I just added that to the list. So whatever I'm doing, I try to do it across board. You get. So at a point.
Sorry, honey blinks. Unfortunately, this my sister Lily's queen. She can't come in because she's getting ready for work. But she just said that we do not help anymore. She's a woman. We do not help anymore because you men have shown women shaggy, and that's why we don't help anymore. Okay, thank you.
It's vice versa. Women think that way, and men also think that way. So you're not going to blame anybody for that. You're not going to blame anybody for that.
Wow. Okay.
So at some point, I told her, okay, now I'm done with my internship. I've gotten a full-time position. Initially, I told her how much I was earning as an intern, but I noticed sometimes she makes some demand that I'm like, these are stuff that you're supposed to be able to do on your own. But I don't complain. I just do what I can do. Then there was a time she was sick. And after the whole incident, she was admitted and all that. Even we were having issues then, but I don't really want to delve into that. When I heard she was going to be discharged, I just sent some money as support for her treatment and all that. Instead of her to be appreciative and say, I saw what you sent, to thank you, the question that will come out from my mouth was if that is supposed to take care of her hospital bill.
Okay.
And I'm like, am I supposed to be the one to take care of your hospital bill? I'm only supporting you. We are not married yet. We are dating. Fine. I'm only supporting you. Whatever I have, whatever I'm giving you is a support. You can't put your whole responsibility on me. You get?
Wow.
And I made that clear to her. And after a while, she said we needed to talk. And I said, okay, what's the talk about? Then the first statement she made was that since I'm now working full time, I need to place her on salary. And I said, as what? As what? I need to place her on salary as what? Are you the one doing the job for me? And all that. She said that is one of her uh criteria to continue in the relationship. And I said, really? Okay, I can't do that. I said, what's the next one? She said I will have to take care of at least 80% of her responsibilities. And I
Wow.
said, I can't do that. That was
Really?
number two. And then I think the third one, because this is a relationship that we're already talking about marriage. I've taken her to my parents. I've seen her parents and all that. And she was like, okay, if she wants to get married, it has to be this year.
Ah.
I said, we are planning about it. You can't force me that if it has to be this year. What if I'm not capable of doing it this year?
But where did you get this woman from in the first
In
place?
fact, when you just got it out of my mouth, honestly.
Now,
Where is that one
sometimes
Yeah.
that's one issues with some women. When some women are friends with a guy, so to say, you see them all cool, all calm, or you don't see some should I call it characters until you now decide to go into a relationship. When you're not in a relationship with that person, you get to be seeing some characters and you're like, are you sure this is the person I knew before? Is this the same person I knew before? That's what I was wondering after the whole incident played out. And I was like, man, if this is how it is, many guys we not go marry o. We go just dey we go just dey on our own, because for a man we no like stress. Generally men no like stress because we like our head to be calm while we focus on how to take care of ourselves and our responsibilities. But when you are not bringing stress to a man, you are already throwing him off balance. It is now, especially when that man is someone that actually really cares about that lady, it is easily thrown off balance, and that is really, really sad. So it's unfortunate that these days money and finances it's one of the top problems in relationship. It may not be in marriage because before it leads to marriage, probably they may have sorted out. But in relationship these days,
Even in marriages.
it happens. I know it happens in marriage, but compared to relationship, I'm talking about relationship these days. Not in the time of our mamas and all that. Those ones, they know how to manage themselves. But these days,
Honey blinks. Back in the day when I was courting, the thing was, even if he doesn't have money, he has prospects, he's hardworking, he's all of this. I mean, there's possibility that God will bless him.
yes,
And then you go together. You might even start in a room and parlor, and then you move to a one-bed apartment and things like that. You go together in all. That was our belief in my days. But these days, I say I don't.
but these days it's not that. It's no longer that.
I
It's
know.
no longer that way.
That's the problem.
It's so
That's the
different.
problem. Hey, Lord, help us.
It's so different.
I don't know if you're
So
done.
that's why I took a walk from that relationship, because
You should
I
have
will
run,
feel
not just
carried.
take a walk.
No, I'm going to say, without me like Joseph.
You should fly a jet, Papa.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
It was very heartbreaking because I should like say this is the first time I'm taking someone to my parents and telling them, okay, this is the person I want to get married to and all that, because I'm very particular about that, and if I'm not sure, I don't do that. So I've never done that, and it happened to be the first time, and I get this experience, and since then I'm just even to think about relationship, I don't even try to think about it anymore,
Honey
because
Blinks,
man,
you know what
my mental health is.
You know what I will say to you? God has saved you from a lifetime agony.
That's right.
A lifetime agony. So I always say to people, look, a broken courtship, a broken courtship is you're courting to get married. A broken courtship is better than a broken marriage. So when guys or girls ignore red flags in that courtship relationship, it's not just red, blue. You see rainbow when you enter that marriage. I'm telling you, see rainbow when you enter that marriage. So it was a good thing. At least you know what you want in life.
Mama is here. Good evening, Mama.
I know, Mrs. Williams, thanks for joining the Unstoppable Mindset. Thank you so much for joining. Wow, in fact, it's a full box. I don't think I have any more box. I don't like dropping people. I don't like to do that. I don't know if TikTok has more than these 8 boxes. I don't know, or something. But you know, the essence of this is we're trying. That's why we're here on Inside, to educate ourselves. And I bet most of young people are there listening. Let's money. Okay, in fact, I don't even know where to begin. Don't press my button this evening. Let me just hold myself. Let me hold myself. Coach Fowler, you said you wanted to say something when Honey Blinks was speaking. Honey Blinks, thank you for sharing your experience. There's no more box.
Yes. So going to your question, first of all, that should money break up a relationship? I want to answer it in this way. Money does break up relationships and marriage. And it's not just the lack of money, because a lot of times we sometimes focus on the lack of money. We don't have enough. It is also the abundance of money. You see, money is such a thing that it shapes our mindset. I want to disagree with the person that says that money contributes only 20%. That's not correct.
I don't know the statistics.
Because even as a single person, money handles, even the Bible says money answereth all things. Money handles a lot of things. You know, rent, utility, this, that, we want to go on holiday. Money does a lot. So money is an integral part of a relationship. The reason why it is so, why it becomes an issue is that we're coming from different backgrounds. We have different mindsets. If we don't have that financial compatibility, if we don't have the same values, just as Honey Blinks was sharing, then it's like a disaster. So in that case, their views about money was totally different. The responsibility of a man and the responsibility of a woman was totally different. That wasn't 20% of their relationship. That took over the whole of their relationship. And that relationship could not go any further. So that's why I say, even rich people, when they even divorce, they still go to court and fight about the money. Because sometimes the woman feels as if, I've been a stay-at-home mom. Yes, he made all this money. It's because I was a stay-at-home mom supporting him. That was why he was able to make this money. So why should he walk away with all of the money and I walk away with nothing? So our mindset about money has a far-reaching. That's one point. The second point I would like to make before I run away is that, you see, anytime we have conversation, it doesn't matter what we're talking about. As long as we have this men and women camp, we're not going to make any headway. We are not going to make any headway because God created us in his image. Men are this, women are that. It's not going to work. I tell you, these things have come into our system, into our community, and it's tearing us apart. It is tearing us apart. Now, I don't know what kind of teaching and training that young girls are getting to say that a guy should put you on salary. If I had a son, and my son comes to me and says, my girlfriend said I should put it, I will slap the boy. I will say, lay down.
Where is the girl?
And I have a daughter. If my daughter says, I told my boyfriend to put me on salary, I will beat her black and blue. Because my parents know where did you learn that from? Where on earth did you learn that from? You're not supposed to be a liability. My goodness, honestly, I don't even understand it. I can say to God who made me, my ex, because he's now an ex, I don't think I collected a penny from him. A penny. And I'm not saying that as though he was a bad person. I just don't know how to ask anybody for money. Even my father, before I got married, I did not know how to be. Why should I be begging you and asking for money? Me? So this teaching, and those of us who are parents, we should train our children. We train our boys to be men, and we train our girls to be women, to have dignity in themselves, and to know that there's dignity in labor. Of all the things that we can do, there is affiliate marketing, there is digital marketing, there's all kinds of things to buying and selling, blah, 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 MLM, network marketing, everything. There are things that you can do. Why would you debase yourself to the point that you will be asking a man for? I remember, this is a funny story. When I was in secondary school, my school daughter's older brother was interested in me. People are going to laugh now because you're going to realize that I'm very, very old. And this guy, I can't remember how much he gave me. I think it was something like 5 naira. When I told my sister was like, you are collecting money from man. You're as good as a prostitute on top of 5 naira, Biko. On top of 5 naira. My sister lashed me. And she was like, what? You collected money from a man. You may as well go and open shop now and be using your body to collect money. So that was the kind of upbringing that I had. So you can imagine why I cannot ask a man for money. So I don't know where these young people are getting this thing from. And we are creating a mess. We are creating a mess. Those of us that are not training our children properly, people should listen. Young men and women who are listening to this, everybody should work for a honest day's pay. I'm not saying that you're going to earn as much as the man or that you want to be competing with your husband. No. But you must know how to work for a honest day's pay. It is absurd and ridiculous and belittling to have to be asking a man for everything. If he gives you out of the goodness of his heart, he gives you a gift, or he just surprises you, beautiful, but not that you'll be begging for money. I mean, so we should be careful. This issue of dividing ourselves into men are like this, women are like this. Because the moment men say, women, they are this, then somebody popped up in the comment and said, men too have been showing women shege. There are bad men and there are bad women. There are good men and there are good women.
Yeah.
So we must learn to have conversation without having these gender wars of men versus women. We must learn to have conversation and be generic in the way we talk. Yes, we can give specific example. If I come here and I give you an example of my ex, you will think that all men are horrible. But that's not true. That is not true. I don't hate men. I love men. But there are examples on both sides. Let us learn the ideal. We're talking about financial management. We're talking about saving. We're talking about investing. And we have to add to that everybody must be economically responsible. Have a job. Have a business that you are doing. Even when the kids are young and you cannot work a 9 to 5, do something. Sell something. Do an MLM, network marketing, digital marketing. There is no excuse for that type of behavior. Absolutely ridiculous. I am sorry. I am done. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm not even gonna say I'm really trying hard to hold my peace, really. God will help me. Thank you so much, Coach Sola, for that addition. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. I'm gonna come to, let's see who's been there. I think it's Miss Classum. Good evening to you. How are you? Thanks for your patience. Let's hear from you on Insight. I hope you're there, Miss Classum. Hello, Miss Classum. Okay, I don't. Yeah.
Quickly, let me say something quickly before she comes.
The topic is marriage and money, or marriage and finances. For a lover of good things, just joining us.
So, another issue I also see amongst youth these days is that most guys they feel working a legitimate job, it's going to take you time to get the kind of money you want. So most guys are not into fraud and all the likes. And you see, a guy that does fraud to get his own money, he will not spend his money. He does not spend his money the way a guy that works hard to get his money.
Money you don't work
So
for,
when
you
a
spend
girl,
anyhow.
yes, so when a girl dates a guy that does one of these fraudulent stuff to get money, and the guy spends lavishly on her without thinking twice, and tomorrow she now eventually dates a guy that works hard to get his money, and he doesn't do that. It's like, this guy is not trying, this guy is not trying. But she forgets that this guy knows how much time he puts into his work to get whatever he gets. So it's conscious of how he spends his money. I cannot be spending money I cannot be spending money on parties or buying you expensive gift that you don't even need when I have a rent to pay, when I have other bills to sort out, when I know I have to wait till month end before I even get my money, not somebody that will just do one or two stupid nonsense and gets money and is able to blow it up as if there's no tomorrow. And that's also another issue. That is one of the things that is also eating up this our generation. They are comparing guys that do legitimate jobs with guys that do not do legitimate jobs, and those two comparisons, it's never going to work. It's never going to work.
No, at all. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's why I say let me just be coordinating right now, because if I okay, I'm holding my peace. Thank you. Hey, honey, okay, help me. Somebody help me. I'm coming to you, Miss Classum. If you're not there, I need to use the box because I can see people sending their requests, but there's no space. So I might need to use that box. Miss Classum, we want to hear from you. Otherwise, thanks so much for the love. Let's just see. I'm not sure if she's okay.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now because I wasn't sure whether you're there.
Sorry, I was on a call on my second phone, so I couldn't talk.
Okay, yeah. Please.
Yeah, hi, good evening.
Good evening. You're
It's good to
welcome.
meet you. I was just passing by. I guess if a friend was here before, and that attracted me to your page.
Oh, okay.
And so I came in. I heard interesting conversation. I think it was Oni that was talking at the point. So I decided to come in. I mean, you brought me up, so
Okay.
it is a good thing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So I don't know if you've gathered a bit of thought you want to share with us, or if you have questions. We're talking about money and marriage, money and finances. Even as a single person, you spend money, you use money, you earn money, or whatever. We can still learn from you.
Okay, I don't know. No, I don't have any comment for now. Then I can be in the comment section, listening.
All right. Let me just thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you all the same. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
So
too.
I will. Yeah, I'll bring somebody else now. Thank you. It's amazing. It's amazing because sometimes some topics cross across, whether you're single or everybody is spending money somehow. So let's talk about this money. But because on Thursday on Inside, I talk about marriage relationships. So whatever topic, it has to do with marriage relationship, because a lot of marriages are breaking up in their thousands just because we neglect certain things. We don't do certain things. We don't talk about certain things. And that's why this is my own passion. I'm like, God, help us, because you find out that, look, God has created this institution as a beautiful one at that. But when I don't do what I'm supposed to do in it, or my spouse does not do what they're meant to do in it, that's why we find all these break-ins, all this separation, all this divorce. We have a lot to do. Marriage, again, marriage is not for boys and girls. It's not for lily-livered man or woman. It's not about age, please. If you say, because I'm 40, hey, I'm matured enough to marry. No. Some 40-year-old, you'll be wondering, is it 16? So it's not about age at all, other than what you carry. Are you ready mentally, physically, emotionally to pour into that person's life? Otherwise, save them that agony, please. I'm begging on their behalf. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I'm going to come to the unstoppable before I come to my twinnie. The unstoppable mindset. You're welcome.
Bless evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, the whole house.
Good evening.
Oh, wonderful topic, and Madam Tola mentioned some things, even though I did not, I wasn't here when Honey Blaze was saying some things.
Okay.
But due to what, I want to pick it from what the guy that came in and was talking about his relationship. Not to really leverage more on it, but just we're in a wonderful season with a wonderful generation. But the fact still remains that the truth is the truth and nothing can change it.
Sorry, unstoppable.
The minute-
Sorry, sis. Peter said some guys and men are running away from their responsibility. Likewise, some women are asking too much, or maybe girls. Let me not say women, because anyway, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Carry on, please, sis.
You are correct, Mr. Peter. But the point is that, is it not the responsibility you know that you want to assume? A lot of people don't know. They don't know their function. How much more to play the role?
Yeah.
So we need to pick you from that place first. You can't tell somebody you are meant to be the one officiating in this office when he does not even know the role he's supposed to play there.
Oh, how would he do the job?
He won't be able to do the job. You can't just rely on him to do the job. That is what we're facing now.
Yeah.
Because when people think they know it, when they think they are self-made, when they think they just fall here like a bag of sherry, they can fix things by themselves, because we have been granted the grace to breathe in and breathe out. We've been granted the grace to see people who have gone ahead of us, and be granted to the opportunity to go for skills, to go to school, and you think that's where life ends. Because the minute we remove God factor, then we start going around looking for what is not lost. Because when somebody said, you met a lady that is like this, is like that. To me, light beget light. What are you looking for? What is looking for you? Because the minute you ask somebody out, if you have it inside of you, if you know who is controlling your life, you listen before you navigate through anywhere. And to live that kind of life is not easy, because majority of people prefer to do things their own, thinking they can fix it. But this institution of marriage is one of the delicate and sensitive things that God has given to us, that in as much as other things we need him. But this one, let's sit down and think about this thing, our wonderful generation. Where is the mathematician that can tell us the mystery between when you say 1 + 1 become 1? It's a mystery you cannot open. That alone should let us know that there's more to this.
Yeah.
When two people will come together to become one, when you yourself cannot even stand yourself before. Some people are still fighting themselves, and they want to know somebody else. A lot of people are carrying baggages, some childhood trauma. You've not solved that. Then you want to go to Mr. A or Mr. B to say, okay, carry my baggage with me.
For me.
Until we get to that place to understand that before you can say, yes, I do, or before you can say, hey, babe, how are you? Shake yourself. Are you the product you are looking for?
Oh.
If somebody need to advertise you to you, will you purchase that kind of goods?
Big question.
If we cannot get to that place, because these are part of the things that God gave us grace to be able to see. Because me, hey, before I got married, I have seen different marriages that scattered. Maybe the kind of upbringing I had, I grew up in a face me and face you apartment. I have seen marriages slap, boom. Not because I knew Christ then, but I just know I wanted something more. I know I wanted something more. What that thing really is, I don't know. But I just know that what I'm saying is not what I want. Even in the midst of essay, when sexual abuse came, when I had to tell myself, no, this is not my life. When I was looking for love and I was getting lost, because what I meant to be looking for was God, but I was looking for love in the hands of people who have not even discovered themselves. And they were playing between my tie. But when light came to me, I realized my worth is more than that. And I made up my mind, no, whoever want to marry me will have to wait. You will have to wait until we get to that place to realize something is wrong with me. I need to fix it first. I fix that first through God to realize that there's some things about me that I'm not ready to give any man. Because if not, the same thing I said I don't want is what I will see. And this one is beyond want. It's about what God has proposed and planned for our lives. Some will say, does it mean some marriages that are not Christian is not working? Lo and behold, some are working because they've seen nugget from people that they say they are working and they imbibe it.
Yeah.
So it will work. But the other factor that we enjoy as believers that we say without missing words is that you know you are not in control. You know that he is the one that is in charge. Even when you feel like you're messing up, he will tell you this is what you should do. So it's not about you being comfortable with the decision. It's about you applying and listening to his instruction to do it either to you don't like it. Money is good. Money is a blessing and addition to us. Money in marriage should be a tool of exchange.
Yeah.
Should not be the focus that will say that if you don't get a man, if he marry you. No. If a man is not rich, that doesn't mean you should not marry that man. Prospect is what you should look. Does he have plans? Does he have a job? Can you see that this man is going somewhere? Can we paddle together in the same boat? Putting God, which is number one, ahead of us. You know you have something you are working towards. And you yourself have something you are doing like Madam Tola said it. Don't be a liability to yourself. Save what? Save honor. That you are hanging, you have something. It makes you happy. When you look at yourself, you know you have something. And when that marriage comes, it should be an additional blessing. That's why I said two heads will become one. So money is good, but what about if money go on sabbatical in that marriage? Does it mean you will say no? Because I experienced it. I experienced it. It was a drought of 7 years. Was it easy? No. Was it sweet? No. Do I like it? No. Was it comfortable? No. I cried. I cried. I went into the marketplace with my car to put goods in the boot to start selling. That wasn't what I studied in school. But when life happens, I look at it. Will I say, no, I'm not doing it again because this man is not the reason why this happened. Life happens to him. He doesn't like it himself too. His ego too is being bruised. I had reasons. I felt like leaving myself. But when I remember that, I had a vow that I signed. Not even because of people, but because God was my witness. I heard him before I said, yes, I do. I respect that honor until when our people fear God. When you know that you have a deal, you are putting your signature on something and you are sealing it. Knowing that because your signature is in it is too important. Except if the person breached the agreement, it becomes DV. I totally agree to say step aside. Go for counseling for therapists. And if there's no change, if there's no changes, then you know that life is more important than marriage. Because if there's no life, the man or the woman will not even come in the first place. But we need to set our priority right. Because the kind of templates that is flying around, especially on social media, and you hear young ladies, especially young ladies, vomiting wonderful things that will not say rubbish. And you tend to look, how do we get here? Girls getting married, becoming mommy. Boys becoming daddy. And today we are sending some things into the society that they are not even something we're supposed to send into the society. They're supposed to be wonderful, lovely seeds to be beneficial to the society that we ourselves will love. There's too much to talk on this topic. But if I continue like this, I won't drop. And there are many people on the platform. But I just pray that our single ladies and single guys, if you're on FYP, if you're passing, if you're here, please, we will not live your life for you, but we are just telling and advising that if you choose right, your vision, your mission in life, you will get there because you have a wonderful support system. But if you don't choose right, hey, my Yoruba people say, because there are sometimes when love will look as if it's not love, because love itself is a test. It's a test
We'll be
that
trying.
can come with kata sometimes. Do you know kata? Let me leave it there. God bless you, ma.
Thank you. I think the unstoppable mindset, she's carrying that thing. I had to that's why I say, Lord, help me to hold my peace. I didn't know I was passing the baton to somebody else. Well, thank you so much for that. Honestly, that's why I'm here again. One of the many reasons I'm here. Because when you go on the social media platform, the nonsense sometimes I'll hold my head. I'm like, are these people for real? Do they know that real people listen to this nonsense and can actually take hold of it? And then they try to use that in their home. Like, how would this work? How? If he doesn't give you the money, the highway, or if it is, you will hear some things about these people. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about because homes are breaking by the day, and then you're bringing this silly advice to people. It's very important. Either you come and tell people the truth or don't come out at all. And that's why I'm like, there's millions and one of nonsense out there. There's only so much FunmiRoyal can do. Maybe God is putting a burden on your heart. On your page as well. Do something. Do something. Even if it's one life you affect every time, every day. That one life is a whole generation you have saved. I'm telling you. Because when I look at the dating world of today, I'm afraid. I'm afraid of the quality of people out there looking for spouses. I'm afraid at their mental alertness and readiness for marriage. When they tell you, some people, you don't even want to hold a conversation with them. When they're talking about marriage, getting married, what is your idea of a marriage? The things they will spill out. Okay, let me hold myself. Okay. Okay, I'll hold it. I don't know, Mrs. Williams, if you can speak. I always would have to ask because I never can tell. I don't want us to miss any contribution whatsoever because I'm here. I mean, your life, you will enjoy life whether you like it or not. That's my mission. Thank you so much. Mrs. Williams, I don't know if you can speak. If not, I'll call on my able brother, lover of good things. God bless you, sir. Thanks for joining us. I don't know whether he's at work, if he can speak. Sir, can you speak?
Thank you.
Good
yeah,
evening.
I can speak. Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. You are welcome. No problem. That's no problem. Thank you, my co-participants. You see, a lot of things have changed these days. A lot. Concerning marriage and finances or concerning marriage and money. Money is a necessity in marriage. Let nobody be deceived. It's a necessity. But you know, most of our girls these days, they don't go for love. They don't go for marriage. They go for money.
Yes.
What is there for me? What is there for me? And you know, environmental factors too.
Yes, sir.
We should look into that environmental factor. Here where I live in America is 50-50. The woman, what you will bring to the table and what the man will bring to the table is 50-50.
Because I don't know the rules of this TikTok. Let's keep tapping as well, please. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Sorry.
Yeah, it's 50-50. Is what that mentality we brought from Africa or from Nigeria. When you get here, it's a different ball game. Not that the man will do everything in the family. We take care of the wife, we take care of the kids. At the end of the day, it will be difficult for him to buy a single shirt. That has gone and it has gone forever. So our boys and girls need some guidance. They need some counseling before going into marriage.
God help them.
Marriage is not what so many people think it is until you get into it. When you get into marriage, you will see so many things you did not even expect. How do you manage this? You start asking yourself, how do I manage this? But if you have gone for counseling, you know, let me give you one, let me share this with you guys. When I was about to marry, we went for counseling. You know what they told us? One of the things they told us then that if any lady that comes from a broken home, you should not marry her,
Ah.
which is wrong. Not all. Not all. Later on, I discover from my own research that that's a wrong. That was a wrong teaching. Some ladies will come from a broken home and they will make a good wife, a good home. They will build a good home.
Of course.
And some will come
Let me say that proudly. I'm one.
and some will, be what they painted them to be. So what are we parents doing? We need to help these girls. We need to help these boys. We need to talk to them even before going for counseling. We need to help them. We need to guide them. Mm-hmm. Things have changed drastically. I'm telling you the truth. Things have changed drastically about marriage and finance.
It has, honestly. It has really.
Unless you want to deceive yourself, things have changed. I've seen a couple who divorced each other because of toothpaste.
They divorced, not separated. Though.
Not separate, they divorced because of toothpaste. Said, how can you press such much? And the one said, what is the problem? Is it not toothpaste? They started fighting.
I don't know whether that's OCD now or some. I don't know.
You see, a lot of these kids of these days, in our own days, when your father or your mother is talking, you dare not look, you dare not have eye contact with them. You'll be looking the ground and put your two hands at the back. But this day, here in America, they told us that when you are talking to people, you need to have eye contact. If you are looking down or looking that means you are hiding something. Can you imagine that?
That's not always true.
Huh?
But that's not always true.
Things have changed drastically. Another thing they taught us when we were in college was adaptability. We need to tell these kids, you need to adapt to situation. Any situation you find yourself, you need to adapt. If there's no money today, money can come tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But saying that money is not necessary, we are deceiving ourselves. Money is necessary.
It is.
Yeah, anybody who did the economics, you know that why do we hold money? Transactional and all that stuff. We need money at every point in time. Mm-hmm. Okay. So for now, I will stop here. Then maybe later I will.
Okay, sir. Thank you. The one thing that I know is money is important as well as other things in a marriage relationship. But for me as a believer, because I don't know who was talking and that came to mind, the love of money is the root of all evils. Not money is the root of all. Everybody will just come and say money is the love of it. How you love it, how you hate it, how you like it, how is the main point of what we're talking about today. Some people love money more than their life. Some people love money more than their
and they turn it.
So money by itself, if I carry a bundle of money and put it on my table and nobody touches it for 10 years, it will still be there on that table. But somebody comes and takes that, go to buy this, the money will be gone. So it's what we do with that money that makes it evil or that makes it bad. Money in itself, of course, it caters to our needs. We'll do this, we'll do that. But is that, if I don't have money, it's like, just buy me, so to say, as people will say. So it's essential, but it is not our life. It is not more important than our lives or than our spouses' lives. Things happen. I think it was Unstoppable Mindset sharing with us. Okay, you start marriage. Life is good. You have a good job. Your husband has a good job. Children are coming in good. All of a sudden, somebody loses their job. All of a sudden, even you lose your job. All of a sudden, the landlord or whoever is threatening to throw you out. All of a sudden, you have to withdraw your children from the private school or whatever they are. So because of that, you tell me, okay, let everybody go their separate ways since we don't have money anymore. It's not. you have to now re-strategize and trust God.
That's
Trusting God, that Father, which way forward?
insane.
Now you don't know what, maybe God is just watching the
Yes.
two of you. It might even be a test, because many times we go through tests. God wants to bless us abundantly, but he sees that we're not ready. And sometimes he will withhold something because he loves us, not because he hates us. So there's a whole lot of thing in there, but like I said, let me just be holding my peace. Let me be coming down like this. But thank you so much, lover of God. I know things have changed. Like I said, when I was dating and today's dating, I'm lost. It's like I'm lost. I don't understand. Honey Blinks, and my prayer for you is when the time is right, God will bring the bone of your bone, flesh of your flesh. That person that will stay with you, that will not ask you to put them on salary, that will be there to hold your hands and do life with you in all honesty. That's my prayer for you. So don't be afraid. That person is out there, but you need to get your priorities right as well. So thank you, sir. Thank you. I just had to come to you with that. I don't know. So I'm going to come to Love God. Love God, if you're there. Good evening to you. You're welcome to Insight.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I don't really have much to say. All has been said, really, about marriage, money, and so on. Yeah, in a marriage, it's not when one, married that one will need to pray. Prayer starts from when, a child is being born. The kind of husband or the kind of wife that such a child will marry. The believer parents, is the believer's parents' responsibility to start praying even for such a child at the very tender age. And when that child now has matured enough to pray, himself or herself, prayers still continue. When one does not miss it in marriage, one will experience heaven here on earth in one's marriage. When you are into the right marriage, right marriage is blissful. Marriage is meant to be enjoyed. It's not meant to be endured. We're not to endure marriage in any way. So we need to sow in prayer where you need prayer more. It's not the university that you go through or the kind of study you wanted to go into, but where you need major prayer is in your marriage. Marriage needs prayer. If you're the type that have prayed and you allow God to now come in and lead you, even when God is leading you, it's not every believers that you can marry. There's one particular woman for you and there's one particular husband for you to marry. It's not, there are lots of believers, but there's only one woman that the Lord took the bone of a man even to form. So it's not many women that the bone of a man was formed. It's only one person. And you locating that person now takes God. That is where you need God. Because it is God who knows that specific woman or specific man that he took his bone to form you. So, and if you go to God in the place of prayer, God is able to match make you with that man, with that person, because he's in that business. He's the one who formed both of you. He knows everything about both of you. That God is the only matchmaker. Yes, after you may have now gotten it right, now you're about to go into marriage. Like I said, it's not every born again Christian that you can marry.
Your wife, yeah.
There are some things. Somebody was talking about the red flag earlier on when I was just joining. and you know that this is just red flag. God has opened your eyes to see, and you saw that, oh, this I'm gonna have problem in it. Don't think that, oh, I will pray for her, or I will pray for him. If I
Don't
can
change
pray
any
for
man's
him or
heart.
her, the red flag will be removed. No, God is opening your eyes, to see, so that you'll be able to channel your prayer. I mean, you'll be able to focus, you'll be able to say, no, I don't think, I don't think I can marry this woman. I don't think I can marry that man. Our host was saying earlier on that I would say broken engagement is far, far better than broken marriage. Even though you are planning to go into engagement, you are about to engage that lady, and you begin to see all the red flags. It's an eye opener for you to say, no, I don't think I can cope on it. We cannot change anybody. We are not God. We're not the one who made them. So you can't change a man. You cannot change a woman. When you see the red flag, stay away from such. It's never too late. That means that that person is not for you.
At all.
So don't go in. Don't say, I will change him. I will change her. Yeah, after, you may have passed all that test, and now you're about to go into marriage. I would say, as before you go into marriage, you need to talks about your finances. How are we going to manage this money so that we won't run into problems? You, both of you, have to sit down. Okay, I've come across lots of married couples that they put all their money together. Then now what they do, they will take some of the money out, they will give themselves pocket money to spend.
I mean,
they will keep the remaining after they may have taken what the money that they will spend maybe on their mortgage or other stuff. They will put that aside, and they give themselves pocket money to spend, and it works well for them. And some, they will say, okay, we're not going to put this money together. What we will do is that we will take half of your wages, half of my wages, we will put it in a separate account so that we will be keeping that one. And it works for them. Not talking about it is the danger.
Yeah.
And some of them will say, okay, you have your separate accounts. Let me manage my separate accounts. And it works well for them. How are we going to, we planned because how far we see determines how far we get to. We plan for, in a marriage, we need to plan for our children's future. And you start from the beginning. You start that planning even from the beginning. Okay, let's do this. This is how we're going to do our money so that we won't overspend.
Thank you for
And once you are able, in a marriage, one will be a spender, definitely. And one will know how to control the money. And in a marriage, it's those who knows how to control the money, who will not spend the money anyhow, supposed to be in charge of the money, so that they can control the money, because dry season will come. When things will be tough, when things will be hard. It's what you've saved that will come to your rescue. Imagine when you don't have a saving, both of you, what will happen?
A lot.
Problem will occur. Yes, I know that after we may have planned and so on, God do bring a test, as our host said earlier on, just to test us. God can make things difficult in terms of money, and see that is one going to really cope with it? Or one will say that, this is not what I envision. This is not what my plan is. Oh, this, I've never dreamt about this, that this will happen. How we manage it, how we control it is all that matters then. How we're able to cover our shame, our husband's shame, our wife's shame is all that matters. And that is the test that God is looking into. And God still wants us, even amidst all of this, to come to Him, to pray, to trust Him. And when we're trusting God, God is not the author of confusion. He will make a way of escape. He will help us out. You know, putting Him in a box, telling God that, God, yeah, when I needed a wife or when I needed a husband, I actually came to you, and now I've gotten my husband. So God, you just stay there. I don't need you anymore. Constantly in a marriage, we need God. We need God to be our foundation. And if God be our foundation, it's not that there will be lots of arguments, because the devil too doesn't want your marriage to stand, because the devil knows that your seed will become the church. Your seed will be those people, those seed will bruise the head of the devil. And the devil himself knows. For that reason, the devil will bring whatever he can to destroy that marriage. And when God is there, He will see you through. Your marriage will not collapse. In the name of Jesus, we need God. In everything, in our finances, we need God. There will be hard time. There will be things that we don't plan for. You know, even in taking care of our parents in a marriage, we still need to table it down. We need to discuss everything from the beginning, even before we go into marriage. That, okay, we will give this to my daddy, we will give this to your daddy, we will give this to your mommy, we will give this to your siblings, we will give this to the family. And once we say that we're not going to give more than this, and if you keep to that, it will work for you. Because when husband's parents says that, is it your wife that is saying that you should not give me money? The husband will call his wife and say, Mommy, Daddy, it's not my wife. The decision is from me. The husband has to cover the wife, and the wife too have to cover the husband when it comes to the wife's family. We have to cover each other, so that, you know, the devil will not use that to come in. Planning is the key in a marriage. Planning our finances is the key. And the Lord will bless us as we begin to put this into practice, because it is only God who can help one. One can plan, and yet when God is not in it, everything will scatter. And the Lord will help us in the name of Jesus. I won't say more than that.
Thank you. You said so much.
Can I quickly respond to what certain things concerning that what my sister said?
Yeah.
Ma'am?
Yes, you can, sir.
A lot of things we took to God, we're supposed to take it to each other. A lot. We bother God too much. We need to pray, we need prayers, but do we come together? There's one thing we call stock taking in my own profession.
That was one of the points I raised as well. It was
yes. Do we come together and say, am I playing my role the way I should play it in this
regular checking
marriage? The husband too will, you know, critical thinking. They will do it. Am I doing this the way it should be done? Are you doing yours the way it should be done? If you do that often, I mean, the marriage will be smoother. I'm not saying we should not pray. I pray too. I'm a prayer person,
I know,
but
I
a lot
know.
of things we need to iron out between ourselves instead of you saying take it to God, take it to God. We bother God too much. God has done everything perfectly for us. He has handed over this planet unto us to have dominion over it. You know, we need to start doing that. We call it stock taking in accounting. We take
Regular
stock each
cooking, I
day.
heard, yeah.
Yes. Thank you, ma.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes, sister, I love God. Thank you so much for the admonishment. In fact, as I felt that in between. And these things were saying, look, whether you're a believer, whether you're one thing, there was a time I was thinking about marriage, as in God will not see that this thing will not work and it will not create it. No, He knows His intention about marriage, that marriage institution. And since He created it, who best to go and ask for help? And I love what Lover of Good Things, what he said. There's so many things we bombard God with. We're supposed to bombard one another with. We're supposed to, in fact, put heads together. As they say, two have become one. Can two work together except they agree? We should come together, talk about these things, and then when we, chew it back and forth, and it's like there's no way, then we can hold hands and pray about it. God should help us, find a solution or something. But the things you're supposed to tell your spouse, you're saying to God all the time. And I know prayer without works is dead. Prayer, good. Works, what are you working? What are you doing? And I saw one question that has gone past there. I don't know if I can scroll back to it. Somebody said, what if, it was, I don't know whether it was Coach Tola or Honey Blix. He said, what happens when the spender insists on controlling?
Yeah, it was me. Yeah, what happens when the spender insists on being the one in control of the money?
You are
And
not
I dare say,
yeah. Go ahead, ma. There will be problem, obviously.
and I dare say it's usually the man. I'm sorry to be, I am the head of the house. I want to be in control, but he's the spender. What happens then?
Dangerous. Dangerous. This is dangerous. It is dangerous. That's a complicated one. That's when I say this, the other spouse will have to face and say the truth. My dear husband, for the last whatever, this is my observation. I mean, we should be able to hear one another. I'm not too sure. And then you have instances you can, because sometimes the men, they might not even know. And then you don't talk. They don't know. They keep doing it years and years and years. Bring their attention to it. Then you now know the heart of the man by his response. What do you mean by that? I'm in charge. I've always been in control. Things are okay. You will know. Or you say, oh, come to think of it, I'd never thought of it that way. Okay, maybe we should do it together, or maybe you can handle it. You have to talk about these things. And that's why I say, look, marriage is a good thing God has created. Whether we do or play our part, our role, is another thing altogether. Somebody wants to have a child. You're not taking any steps. You're not getting married. You just sit down and be saying, I want a child, I want a child. Is he going to drop from heaven? Go get a husband. Even if you say, okay, you don't want to marry, go get a surrogacy or whatever it is. You have to do something. And a lot of times you just sit and assume, okay, he's taking care of it, and then bam, it happens again. And then you keep quiet 1 year, 2 years, 10 years. And then after 10 years, you're not telling this man his spending habits is somehow. You'll be wondering from where to where. Because you kept quiet all this while. He never saw anything wrong in what he did because you were quiet. So let's help one another. The truth is bitter, as they say, but we still have to say it to help each other enjoy that marriage or enjoy our finances in that marriage. They say it's easier said than done because these things break up homes. It does. And for homes not to keep breaking up, that's why we're here talking about it. And I always say to us, this space, that's why I came out here. I could be sleeping, guys. But I know that some people, they need help. Some, they don't have the boldness to ask people. And that's why we're here to talk about these things. And I really want to thank everyone for their immense contribution. It's been an eye-opener. All this wealth of experiences, people sharing from their wealth of experience, it makes it even richer. And people listening, in fact, if I had a notebook now, I bet it's full. Thank you so much. I'm gonna come to Heartbeat before I come to you, Apos. Heartbeat, good evening to you. I hope you're good.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
You are welcome to
Good
Insight.
evening to everyone.
We want to hear from you, sir.
Okay. I think that the topic on finances and marriage is a timely topic and cannot be overemphasized. Looking at a number of marriages, we can concede that the problems that has even led to divorce in most cases has to do with finances. So much that there is the need to address this matter on finances in marriage before things get out of hand for most couples. I've listened to the discussions and the contributions from both sides, from men and from women. But what I want to add to what has been said, which clearly are all issues of much consequence relating to the subject that we are discussing, is that when it comes to finances, like every other aspect of the marriage life, if you want to wait till you get into the marriage to plan your finances, to a large extent, you have failed already.
That's right.
And this is why I'm saying so. You don't attempt writing an exam without preparing for it.
Oh, yes. I can see one red bar. It's box. Heartbeat, are you still there, sir? The network is a bit poorly.
Yes, I'm here.
No. I can see
Oh,
you. I need to hear Heartbeat 77. I think his network is poorly. Oh, okay. Maybe he'll come back, hopefully. And I was just beginning to get into his submissions, really. These things, better we talk about it now before it becomes a huge problem. Okay, whilst we wait for him to come back, I'm going to come to, of course, now. I don't know, Mrs. Williams, please, you can send a message if you can speak where you are before we round up. Of course, welcome, my brother. God bless you. I see all your attempts. You see, you're making me laugh. They'll just think I'm not listening to what you're saying with all your puzzle answers, which are all wrong. But it is
Good
well.
evening.
Good evening. How are you, sir?
Yeah, very well, thank you. I think a lot of people have spoken well, and with this sort of subject matter, right, you will get a variety of insights. And I think various teams have come out of the various submissions that have been given. And like you said, right, I think Adbit's submission would have been very interesting because I was listening to him carefully because he sounded more like a social scientist who's familiar with that topic.
I can
You know.
feel the maturity in his voice.
Yeah, yeah, very much. So that being said, right, I think a lot of people have said very important things which are crucial. So for me, right, I think I won't say much because it would be a case of saying most things that have been said already. But that being said, right, I think it's crucial from the onset that people define what is most important to them when it comes to these issues. And I think, like the madam that spoke, maybe after before the two last speakers, right? She said something very crucial about
God, yeah.
something around red flags.
Mm.
And that I picked on mostly, right? Because I think from the onset, right, most people tend to like define those things that are important to them. And where you kind of find out that, okay, maybe those values or standards that are really crucial to you, right, don't necessarily align to the other person's one, then I think it's important to pay close attention to those things. But in most cases, right, we tend to like, get carried away and focus on maybe the things that are not necessarily important that will form the basis for how we'll manage a certain aspect of our affairs or activities in the course of our relationship or marriage, you know. So when it comes to finances, right, I think it's crucial that people are on the same page, because that will enable them to like plan and manage their inflow to be able to like sustain the aspect of their day-to-day
Finances, yeah.
finances. So I think sometimes, right, we as migrants, when we leave our comfort zone and go to new environments, right, we then learn how to adapt to the new ways of surviving and maintaining our finances. And most times people tend to like, adopt the new concept of 50-50 or 80-20 and stuff like that, and tend to like use that to cause more confusion in their ways of going about these things. Whereas when we're back home, right, you find out that most
Sorry,
marriages,
of course. Why not 100-100? Why? Why not 100-100?
that's what I'm driving at. So you find out that when they were back home, right, they tend to like, live in a way where they don't sort of place emphasis on the imbalance of the inflow of money that comes to the household, right? Whereas people forget that what is generally classed as household income is the overall income for the house. And for you to effectively plan on that, right, both parties have to have that open communication and transparency on how to manage things effectively. So where somebody is sort of making emphasis that, okay, yes, I will have to make certain amount of contribution towards sustaining the house, right, then it becomes an issue where people tend to like have misunderstanding, and that sort of causes more problem down the road. For me, right, I think people who sort of have this general idea that, okay, yes, what comes into the house is ours, as opposed to certain amount belongs to you, right, tend to like, have more understanding and balance in dealing with those things. For me personally, right, I feel that the household income, right, should entail that, okay, yes, everything that comes should be defined and planned accordingly, so that everybody has that clear understanding on how to manage the overall finance to deal with those things, as opposed to trying to make a case where people have to like, claim ownership of certain proportion of that money, so I think that's what causes most of the problems most times. So I think for me personally, I feel that collective effort to like, sustain the income that's, is there is important, right? And people tend to like have that idea that, okay, yes, we can do things differently, and it causes a lot of issues. So misalignment in the values that people place on these things, right, tend to like also play an important role in how matters that result to finances also causes unnecessary issues. So that being said, right, since Heartbeat is here, I'll leave him to continue his submission because I know it's taking a different dimension to the topic, which I find very interesting.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I see you just use that opportunity to run, but it's okay. At least well said. Thank you for your addition as well. Thank you so much for that. So heartbeat, in fact, our heart beat for 1 second there when we lost you, but you're welcome back. And we'd just like to, for you to finish what you started earlier. Thank you so much for your patience as well.
Thank you. I'm grateful for the opportunity.
You're welcome.
Yes, I was saying that the evidence available proves beyond doubt that the problems plaguing a number of marriages borders primarily on finances. There clearly are other factors, but finances certainly is one of the culprits that has contributed to high rate of divorces around in the world today.
True.
And to give you an example, a couple which I know or who I know separated simply because of a property that they were supposed to have built together. And this is just a tip of the iceberg. We have a number of cases like that, especially when people are in Africa and they travel to Europe, and we hear all the commotion, the agitation, the conflicts coming out and stemming directly from finances. It calls for us to look at this subject with open mind and with that sense of urgency. I was saying that waiting to get into marriage to plan your finances, and for that matter, any other aspect of the marriage, will be too late because you don't get to the exam hall to start studying. You prepare towards marriage, and marriage begins when you say, I do. In that case, you are already in marriage, and this is not the time to start planning. It will be too late. So the time, which is the pre-marriage stage, is a time that we should use to plan our lives together. We should try to know what we want to achieve together. I always give an example that there is this man who is a single child of both parents. And there is this woman whose mother died early because of multiple childbirths. So this child, who happens to be a lone child, has the desire to have a lot of children. On the contrary, this woman, whose mother died as a result of multiple births, also decided to give birth to only 2 children. They met, they courted for 2-3 years before finally coming together in marriage without anything said and discussed on the subject of how many children we want to have together. So they come into marriage only to surprise themselves. And sometimes it's not even immediate, but when they have had the first and the second, and then a man is pushing for the third, maybe in the 5th year of the marriage, then for the very first time he makes that awful discovery that this woman has this mindset contrary to my own expectation. And that is the same with money and every other thing. If you do not plan together, that time we use it to go to places of excitement. We use that moment to go to cinemas, we go to resorts, we do all sorts of things without recourse to major issues that serve as pillar to the emerging relationship. And that has become the culprit for why many marriages fail. So we should plan what we want to do with our money, how we want to generate money, how we are going to put our resources together, what we do for in laws, how we are going to spend money on our children's education. All these things should be planned so that if we cannot even achieve it 100%, it will be a guideline leading us through that dark world of financial challenges so that we don't have any disappointment somewhere along the line. So we need this. We need to plan way before. And if we are able to do that, trust me, we are going to get somewhere. Having said this, I also want to say that women have a lot of grace and talent naturally in managing money, little money, and growing it far better than men do. That is my own observation. It is subject to debate, and you may have different views.
We accept that. We accept that.
Yes. But then, there are a lot of businesses in the marketplace that if a man starts, he will fail. But women can start that same business, and in the next 5, 6, 7 years, they have become big. And that is because of that natural talent in grooming or handling little money and growing it to become big. So they are very useful asset in the financial life of the family. And if we, the men, recognize this and then make them an integral part of decision making when it comes to finances, trust me, we will do well. A couple of days ago, it became necessary to go for my 6 months bank statement. And I knew I had not done so much with this particular bank in question. But when the statement came, 6 months statement, and I looked at the amount of deposits that I have made, I asked myself, are you sure this statement is mine? They said, yes, it's yours. And this is just one bank. And I was like, wow. I'm so generous, so liberal, I'm giving everywhere to the extent that this money has passed through my hands and there is little to show of it. If a woman has that same opportunity, trust me, it's going to be very big and very different. So women are essential necessity when it comes to this thing about finances. But I also want to sound a word of caution here, and that is no man naturally wants to be the one who is bringing the bulk of the money and at the same time feel controlled by his partner, that is his spouse, on how he should spend it and what he should do and what he shouldn't do. I want to say that if we flip it on the other side, if a woman also finds herself as the one bringing in the bulk of the money, she equally may not feel so satisfied and fulfilling if she comes to the realization that my spouse, my husband, is trying to control me for the money I am making myself. So we can conclude that when people are bringing money and they are generating the money, they don't want to feel controlled. So a woman must also know how to get into the financial life of the husband and how to approach him on expenditure levels. Otherwise, when that feeling comes in strongly that she's trying to control me or he is trying to control me, which other way we look at it, we might not be very successful. So we need wisdom, and we pray for wisdom for our women to be able to come in with that kind of input in the kind of language and wisdom that will make their suggestions acceptable. I think I will rest my case here and then wait for another opportunity to make more input so others can also contribute. Thank you once again for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. I rest my case. I don't think I should say anything anymore. I rest my case. Thank you so much. And I'm just looking at the time. My goodness, where has the time gone? You know, if we carry on, we will be here till tomorrow morning. And I want to believe all we've talked about, I mean, for the last 3 hours has been beneficial to everyone in the box, everyone listening. And that's why I always take time to download and upload it again for those who may have missed it for whatever reason. Marriage and money, marriage and finances is something that is crucial in every marriage. We cannot but talk about it. You know, let's not fight each other about it, but let's talk about it and look for ways we can come to an agreement when it comes to our finances as husband and wife. I personally don't think it should be solely on one person, whether to manage it or to bring it. It has to be like two have become one. It's only then, you know, you can carry each other through, because the time might come, the sole winner, breadwinner, the husband, quote and unquote, might lose his job. What then happens? What then happens? You go your separate ways. What happens to your children? So let's think to the future, think back to today, and start making better financial choices. That is my hope for us tonight. And I'm going to end. We have 3 more minutes. Nobody got the puzzle. First, I just want to say thank you all to those who prayed for me, send heart me's and all of that to me on my birthday. I really appreciate every single one. Thank you so much for your prayers. Like I said, that's all I need, prayers. Thank you so much. And again, everyone that's contributed tonight, those even on the FY page, to everyone, I really appreciate you all. In fact, you always make it interesting. If you can see, it's like I hope I will not start snoring on live now. But you make it so interesting. I just want to be here, but just I'm mindful of the time. Oh, what is it? Of course, hold your peace. I think I would say it and I'll just switch off so that nobody will attack me now. So this one, I'll have to explain it in a way, but let me just finish my appreciation. Mrs. Williams, thank you so much, my Tweenie. God bless you. Thank you so much for the moral support. She's probably driving or at work, but thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you, man. And Coach Tola, hey, where do I begin from? God bless you, please. Peter Agada, God bless you. Lover of good things, I appreciate you. Heartbeat 77, I hope I'll see more of you, sir. No, I didn't mention names. Thank you for that contribution to crown the program for today. Love God, sis. Mwah. Thank you so much, all the way from the Republic. Thank you so much. Honey Blinks, keep holding on, bro. It is well. Don't worry, your wife too. Your wife is praying for you. Usually you're praying for your wife. One day soon, by the grace of God, you will meet in the name of Jesus. So please don't ever ignore any red flag. Talk about it. If their attitude is like they're still adamant or they're still proud or whatever, you know what to do with red flags. Like I say, if you ignore red flags, you see rainbow inside our marriage. So if you cannot manage one color, red flag, how would you manage 7 rainbow colors? It is well. And to every young people out there, whether you're in courtship, whether you're engaged, you're planning to get married, start talking with your spouse about these things. Talk about money. Let him know where your mind is regarding money. Talk about it. You may agree to disagree, to come and agree again. Don't shy away from talking about it. It's not till you get into that marriage you now want to start talking about it. There is danger in that. So please be safe. And my brother Apostle, God bless you. God bless you so much. I'm I'm gonna look. It's time up. Time up. Okay, ready? Where's the button to go off? Okay, so the puzzle is so that we can have good sleep tonight. Oh, thank you so much, Hardwood, for the happy. What did the salesman shout in church? Hey, for those who are used to going to church, I'm afraid to even tell us now. Maybe we should leave it. I'm seeing Apostle's face and I'm scared to talk. So the salesman, he shouted, should have bought a Honda. But the way he shouted it, you think he was speaking in tongues because he was in church. Should have bought a Honda. You know, should have bought a Honda was what I was hoping to hear. Because when you're with Christ, you remember Christ at which book of the Bible? Let me not misquote now. The disciples were in one accord. Disciples were with Jesus. If they would be in the church today, so he shouted, should have bought a Honda. He's a car salesman. He thought about it, should have bought a Honda. Good night, go now. That is the answer. Like I said, it's a funny one. I knew you were the only one with the correct answer. The answer to my puzzle. So thank you for all the attempts. Honestly, let me clap for everyone. I really appreciate you. Thank you for the attempt. I think next time we're going to do the tongue twister. So go and get ready. You remember this, Apostle? I'm giving you heads up. Peter Pepper picked a peck of pickled pepper. So go and learn it. If you can say very fast. You say very fast without blabbing. And then maybe if everybody in the box decides to give you the gift, then we can give you. But thank you so much. Is it Honda Accord? And now they were in Honda Accord. Now they
were in one accord.
They were in one accord. So he shouted, should have bought a Honda. You know, he got the revelation. Salesman. Thank you guys so much. Once again, thank you. I'm gonna love you and leave you the unstoppable mindset. God bless you, sis. Thank you for your support. And to everyone that has come in and dropped off at some point just to accommodate other people, I really appreciate everyone. It's the weekend. Yay! I love weekend because I can rest a bit. But thank you so much. Enjoy Friday, enjoy the weekend, and be blessed. Till I come your way on Monday. Is it this Monday? Yeah, this Monday I'm coming your way. Remain blessed and enjoy. Manage your finances, start talking about it with your spouses, or whoever you're in that relationship with. It matters a lot, guys. On a serious note, it does matter. It has broken up homes for no reason, just because they're not handling it well. So please, let's be mindful. Enjoy your marriage, not endure it. I'll come your way on Monday, 8 p.m. UK time by the grace of God. Thank you all so much. Have a lovely good night. Bringing hope and making feel have a lovely night. Mrs. Williams, Honey Blinks, love God, happy. Thank you guys so much. Peter Agala, Coach Stella, thank you. Unstoppable mindset. God bless you. Zizi, I see quite a number of people there. Zizi, Ami, Fatu, Salina, thank you guys so much for staying all through. I see you and I appreciate you. Have a lovely night, rest. Good night.